About 1 minute away from kickoff here at UC Davis Health Stadium as the number 4 ranked UC Davis Aggies come out to their home opener to take on the Mountain Hawks of Lehigh here at home for their home opener. The Aggies won the toss and they elected to receive the ball, so the Aggies will be coming out on offense first. One more quick break, and we'll be back on the other side for kickoff. You're tuned into KDVS's live stream here on YouTube as we await kickoff here at Aggie Stadium. The teams are out on the field, and we are almost ready to kick things off here at UC Davis Health Stadium. Max Agress with KDVS here on this YouTube live stream, and we're just about ready to get things started. The Aggies, like I said before, they elected to receive, so the kick will come off the right leg of Austin Hennings, the senior 6'2" kicker out of Fairview, Texas. And for the Aggies, their return man deep right now will be Troy Spencer. Spencer gets the ball around the 20-yard line, has a seam out to the far sideline. 35, knocked down at the 40-yard line. An amazing return for the Aggies as they get the ball started out in a great starting field position. Nevins is the man on the tackle for the Lehigh Mountain Hawks, and the Aggies are just about ready to get things going here. Jake Mayer coming out last week. He was 29 for 38, 359 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 uncharacteristic interceptions. Mayer only had 10 interceptions all year last year as the Aggies come out on offense now. They come out in a little bit of a swinging gate formation as they motion off 2 of their linemen back to the regular offensive side of the line from the near hash mark. Priest is on the bottom of that offensive line. Mayer and Gilliam are in the backfield. Mayer gets the snap. 3-step drop, looking deep down the field, has a man open, deep down the field, brought in, and it's broken up at the last possible moment. Jared Harrell had one-on-one coverage going over the top. He was competing for the ball at the 15-yard line, but he just was not able to bring it in. The Aggies take a deep shot to start off this game, and they'll face 2nd and 10 now. Second and 10. The Aggies on the field right now in the backfield. Mayer and Gilliam. Gilliam gets the ball here on the sweep. No, it's an RPO straight through the hands of Carson Crawford. Crawford would have caught the ball around the 47-yard line, but the ball zips right through his hands, and another uncharacteristic play from the Aggies there. Crawford, quite the receiver for this team so far. 12 catches, 114 yards for the sophomore rather. Mayer in the empty set now from the near hash mark, drops back from the 40-yard line, tosses it, and is caught by Justin Kraft. Kraft out to the 45, 40, running over a defender, and he makes his way inside of the 40-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 35. Kraft was just out there alongside the far side numbers as the Aggies work left to right, and he was a check down route, so he got about 7 yards from the catch, and then he did it all himself. The Aggies hurry to the line from the 35-yard line, far hash mark. Mayer dropping back, tosses it out. Crawford catches at the 19-yard line, makes a move upfield towards the middle of the field, and he's brought down at just about the 14-yard line. The Aggies offense looked like they might have stalled out at the very beginning, but just a few plays later, and they're already in the end zone of the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. Tripped out to the far side of the field. Mayer working near the left hash mark, or right hash mark rather, tosses out a outlet pass out to Gilliam. A swarm of defenders for Lehigh brings him down behind the line of scrimmage. So he'll be taken down at the 18-yard line for a loss of 3 on the play. So the Aggies will face, a loss of 4 officially. So the Aggies will face a 2nd and 13. From the near hash mark, Mayer, Gilliam off the right hip, works trips to the left. The slot receiver is Wesley Priest. Looking deep down the field here, tosses it to Carson Crawford, running a drag route, makes a move at the near hash mark, down at about the 11-yard line. They're marking down at the 12, so the Aggies pick up a little bit of yardage here, but they will still face a 3rd and long inside the red zone.
Gain of about 7 yards on
It's a gain of 7, and it'll be a 3rd and 8 here from the 12-yard line of the Mountain Hawks. 3:15 left. Aggies working left to right. They motion Priest from the right side of the offensive line to the far side of the offensive line. Lone receiver on the far side of the field is Horrell. Mayer, pressure up in his face, tosses it, and it's caught just about at the 8-yard line. The receiver on the play was Chris Vaughn. Chris Vaughn was running a little bit of a dig route over there, but unfortunately for the Aggies, they'll face 4th down and 5 here. So instead of sending the kicker out and getting the safe points, the Aggies will go for on 4th down early on in this game. 12:41, and Dan Hawkins is already rolling the dice. Near hash mark, Mayer calling for it. Has a man running the drag route as Carson Crawford gets right to the sticks and taken down there. It looks like he'll get enough yardage to move the chains, and the Aggies roll a 6 on the play as they move and get a 1st down. The linebacker coming up over there. Huffner was the man on the tackle. Now the Aggies continue to come out in between the hash marks. Mayer calling for the quick snap, hands it off to Gilliam. Nope, it's an RPO toss out. Vaughn inside the flat, stiff arm defender working out to the sideline, trying to reach the ball out to the pylon, but was unable to get there. He'll be marked down at just about the 2-yard line. So on 1st and goal, the Aggies go with the RPO once again. They pass it out to Vaughn, and Vaughn gets about 2 yards on the catch. From the 2-yard line in the far hash mark, Gilliam off the left hip of Jake Mayer. Double tight end set for the Aggies off the right side of the offensive line. They motion Vaughn from the wideout slot to the slot. And a ball is tossed into the back of the end zone, and that's caught by Chris Vaughn. Touchdown, Aggies. 11:37, and the Aggies get on the board with their first 6 points at home this season. Vaughn just running an easy drag route in the back of the end zone. It was blown coverage, so Vaughn was right there all alone. He tacks on his 34th yard of his 2019 season, and he gets his first touchdown of the year as well. So the Aggies got it at the 40-yard line, drove all the way down the field, got some hiccups inside the red zone. They went for it on 4th and 5, and then they finally cap things off as Max Rorick is able to cross the T on the PAT, and the Aggies go 7-0 here with 11:37 left in this first quarter of play. Aggies strike fast, and that's just the Shredville offense that we expected to see out of this team. This team had faced a lot of adversity early on. They played one of the best defenses at the FBS level in the California Golden Bears. They showed up well, and last week against the Toreros, the Aggies were just about pinned on the ropes, ready to get knocked out, but the last second, a counter left hook knocked the Toreros out of it. As the defensive back for the Aggies, Devin King, was able to make a tackle right at the goal line. They literally won by a yard as they forced a fumble at that goal line, and they stole a win out of the teeth of defeat. And now they go up early. They get a 7-0 lead, and they look to run this one out of the house early. So we'll be back just on the other side of this break as the UC Davis Aggies drive down the field on the opening kickoff, and they score a touchdown. You're tuned in to UC Davis football here on KDVS 90.3 FM Davis. Back here at UC Davis Health Stadium as the UC Davis Aggies are looking to kick things off now themselves. Max Rorick lining up for the kickoff. Pardon me, that's Matt Blair. He kicks the ball deep out to the 2-yard line. It'll be returned by George Porterreal. Porterreal cutting up the middle of field, gets across the 20-yard line, and it'll be brought down at the 22-yard line. So that's where the Lehigh offense will start, right over there from the 22-yard line of the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. Their starting quarterback, Tyler Monaco. Monaco so far this season, 47% passing, 523 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. So the senior quarterback out of Davie, Florida has a lot to prove here in Davis, California tonight. Lehigh coming out with a double tight end set. They have a tight end off the right side of the offensive line and a up back off that right line as well. Shotgun from the near hash mark. They fake a handoff looking deep downfield as Monaco. Monaco throws it into the feet of a UC Davis defender. It was thrown into the feet of Nick Eaton there. So the Aggies showing coverage with their defensive front 7 early on here. 2nd and 7. Lehigh's coming out in their white helmets, white jerseys, white pants. So they're wearing white everything, which is a smart idea here as it was blisteringly hot out in Davis, California today, going all the way up to 97 degrees. It's starting to cool down as the sun is beginning to set, and we have a great football game on our hands. Motioning a slot receiver, they fake the jet sweep, and they hand it off the left side of that offensive line. And Rayshawn Allen, the sophomore out of Canton, Michigan, will get his first carry of the game. Allen is the featured back for this Mountain Hawks offense. So early on, only a yard picked up by the Mountain Hawks. And it's 3rd and 9 with 11:03 left in this first quarter of play. Monaco from the near hash mark surveys the field, motions his wide receiver from the right slot to the left slot. The Aggies adjust for as they show man. Awaiting the snap, Monaco calls for it. 3-step drop back, looking deep down the field, starting to pressure, rolls outside the pocket, and he'll be brought down at the 15-yard line. A gang of Aggie defenders come in, and Nick Eaton, the redshirt freshman strong side linebacker, comes up and makes the play for the Aggies. So they'll force a 3-and-out, and they'll force a punt far inside the side of the field for the Mountain Hawks. The kicker and the place kicker, or the punter and the place kicker rather, for this Mountain Hawks team is Austin Hennings, as Hennings kicks a high swirling punt. It'll only go out to about the 46-yard line of the Aggies. Takes a Mountain Hawks bounce, rolling all the way down to the 29-yard line, keeping it going. And that punt looked like a terrible punt to kick things off, but he's able to pin it all the way down to the 28-yard line of the Aggies as flags begin to fly. The return man back deep was Jalen White, and I think there might have just been a little bit too much smack talking at the end of that play.
Up to the play, personal foul. Receiving team.
So it was on the receiving team, a personal foul on Jalen White, a personal foul, and that will move the ball back even further. So the ball would have been set at the 27-yard line before that penalty.
Timeout on the field.
But unfortunately for the Aggies, the ball will move back even further as there is a timeout on the field. Take a quick break, and we'll be back for the Aggies' second offensive possession of this game. You're tuned into UC Davis football here on 90.3 KDVS Davis. Back here at UC Davis Health Stadium as the Aggies come out to the field for their second offensive possession of the game. The first one was a 60-yard drive all the way down the field, capping it off with the Chris Vaughn touchdown. Now the Aggies, after a penalty on the punt, will have to start out from the near hash mark at the 14-yard line. They motion Carson Crawford in the jet sweep, and they hand it off to Crawford. Crawford has a defender right up in his face as he steps out of bounds after a nice little pickup on the play. Crawford pushed out of bounds at just about the 17-yard line as he gets about 3 yards on that play. Second down and 17 now, 9:54 left. Mayer calling for the snap, looking deep downfield, has plenty of time to throw, toss it across the field to Jared Harrell. Harrell ran a 5-yard in route on the play, so he picked up just about that 5 yards on that play. It'll make it third and short from the 22-yard line. Mayer, quick snap now, hands it off to Gilliam. Gilliam has a seam up the middle, out to the 30, 40-yard line. No, brought down at the 35-yard line as he got tackled down by the ankles by the free safety, Sam McCloskey. Just enough yardage, or plenty of yardage rather, to pick up the first down for the Aggies as they go into mock speed now. They hand it off to Gilliam. Gilliam out the right side of the offensive line, running into a flurry of defenders as he picks up about 2 or 3 on the carry. He'll get out to just about the 37-yard line. So gain of 2 as it's second down and 8 from the 37. They hand it off to Gilliam once again on the sweep action, cutting back outside the right side of the offensive tackle. And then Gilliam gets about to the 40-yard line now. So a gain of 2 yards on each of these 2 runs. So make it 3rd and 6 from the 40-yard line of the Aggies. Working left to right. Mayer awaits the snap, trips out to the far side from the shotgun. 3-step drop, looking deep down the field. Has to go, drop it off to Gilliam once again. Gilliam makes the catch at the 40-yard line, spinning forward out to the 41-yard line. And the Lehigh Mountain Hawks will be able to get off the field as the Aggies send on their punt unit. So that's some confidence building right there from Lehigh. Lehigh came into this game 0-2 as they faced 2 devastating losses coming into this game. Their first loss came to the hands of St. Francis in a heartbreaker. You probably saw one of the plays on ESPN as they botched a punt, and then Villanova smacked them down 38-10 here. So they have a lot to prove as Daniel Whelan shows off the big leg, fielded at the 10-yard line, making his way out to the middle of the field, out to the 20-yard line, and that was a great return right over there by George Puriel. And Puriel is able to bring it just inside of the 20-yard line. So that's another great punt by Whalen, able to flip the field and get another punt inside the 20. That will be his 5th punt inside the 20 this year as Whalen shows off his amazing leg once again. A 49-yard punt on that play from Whalen, tagging it down inside the 20-yard line. So another timeout on the field, but we'll keep it here for just a second. Like I was saying before, the Lehigh Mountain Hawks struggled a little bit early on in their season, as in their opening game at home against St. Francis, they had one of those plays that turned up on the SportsCenter Not Top 10. The punter for St. Francis bobbled the ball twice before being smacked down, and Lehigh was able to return the ball all the way down the field, just about 80 yards for the touchdown. But unfortunately, despite the fact that they were able to get that play, they still lost 14-13. After that, they went out to the number 24 ranked Villanova, and Villanova brought them a 38-10 loss. So that's how the year has started for the first-year head coach Tom Gilmore. On the other side of the ball, the Aggies got their first win of the season last week after starting out with a very tough game against one of the best defenses in all of college football in the University of California Bears. That one was a fun time as the Aggies forced so many turnovers, and they were up 10-0, tied up 13-13 at the in the third quarter before the California Golden Bears finally found a seam, and Chris Brown just gave them about too much. And then last week they had a amazing game for the ages against San Diego, pulling out a game-winning stop right at the 1-yard line. Now the Aggies looking to pin on their second win of the season, coming in ranked number 4. Monaco comes out in the empty set this time around. Up back off the right side of the line, looking deep down the field, tosses a shot all the way down the field, but a miscommunication between him and his wide receiver turns into just a wasted play. The ball was tossed out to the 45-yard line, but the closest receiver was George Porterreal, who was just about at the 35-yard line. So with that blown pass, Monaco will make it 2nd down and 10. 2nd and 10 between the hash marks. Monaco brings in a running back. That's Rayshawn Allen off the right side of his hip. Trips out to the right side of the field. They hand it off to Allen. Allen trying to sweep it out to the outside, but the Aggies were right there to stop things down. Number 26 was the man on the tackle right over there, Josh Januska. Number 26 was the ball handler, and Rayshawn Allen. And then the tackler for the Aggies, I believe, was the left defensive end, Roland Okanzi. So, after a pickup of just about 3 yards on the play, it'll be 3rd and 7. 7:20 left in this first quarter play. Monaco looking to pick up his first down of the game. From the far hash mark, he comes out on the shotgun. 3-step drop pressure, blitzing from the Aggies, and it's caught out to the 45-yard line. 50 in the defender was brought down by Jordan Perriman, the left quarterback, after a big gain on the play. That was George Porterreal. He just beat an Aggie defender. He had a linebacker on coverage there as the Aggies sent in a blitz up the middle, and Lehigh made them pay. 6:55 counting down. Aggies are leading 7-0 early on in this first quarter of play. From the 45-yard line of Lehigh, they'll come out in the shotgun. The Aggies show a man-to-man look, fake the handoff, rolling out to his right, pressure up in his face, toss it way too high over the top for Matt Jordan. Jordan motioned across the screen as Tyler Monaco was walloped down on the play by number 45, Eric Flowers, the inside linebacker. 2nd and 10 now from the 45-yard line of Lehigh. They look to their near sideline as just about 3 or 4 players / coaches signal the play call in. Aggies switching out their defensive front. They bring in Josh Suani, the redshirt freshman from Hayward, California. 6 foot tall, 329 pounds, playing that nose guard position for the Aggies. Tidying off the left side of the offensive line as they motion Nate Hope into the flats. Looking deep down the field, tosses it out, and it's batted away at the very top. A great play from number 14 for the Aggies. Number 14 for the Aggies is Chris Venable. 2 number 14s for this Aggies team, the backup running back Teron Thomas as well as Chris Venable. Venable, the backup safety, filling in for Tigre Garcia, who's been out the last 2 games for the Ags. So with that defensive stop, it'll be 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10 from the 45. 6:31 left in this first quarter play. Monaco gets the snap, rolling out to his right, being pressured, tossed it, and it's batted down once again. Another great play by Jordan Perriman as the redshirt sophomore bats the ball away, and he'll force a punt from Lehigh. The strength of this UC Davis defense has been their safety group, or their defensive back group rather, led by Devin King and Jordan Perriman. Devin King, there isn't, I mean, you can't say a single bad thing about him. He's been an absolute ball hawk for the Aggies so far. Like I said, he forced that fumble at the very end of the game to win the game for the Ags. And his counterpart, Jordan Perriman, made the play. High booming punt. It'll take a bounce at the 5-yard line, being fielded at the 7-yard line from the Aggies. And that was just a lucky, or not lucky, but a great bounce by the punter, Austin Henning. The ball bounced down at about the 5-4 line, or the 4 or 5-yard line rather. And then the punt return driver there, Jalen White, thought the ball was going into the end zone. But unfortunately for him, it took a Lehigh bounce. The Aggies will start out the 3rd offensive possession of the game from this 6-yard line here. From the Aggies 6-yard line, they'll be deep inside their own side of the field as they start off their 3rd offensive drive of the game. 6:16 left in this first quarter of play. The Aggies are up 7-0. Priest motions from right to left as the Aggies have a bunch right off the right side of the offensive line. Snap goes off to Mayer. Mayer in the end zone, toss it too high over the top for Teron Thomas. Pressure brought late by the Lehigh Mountain Hawks as they brought a little bit of a stunt from their defensive lineman. And the stunt worked out quite perfectly as they force a 2nd and 10. Aggies coming out in a pistol now. Teron Thomas stays in the game. They hand it off to Thomas. No, Mayer has plenty of time to throw right side of the offensive line as he drops it right off to Wesley Priest. Wesley Priest caught the ball at the 10-yard line and was brought down right over there as well as the Aggies pick up just about 4 yards on the catch. It'll be 3rd down and just about 6 here. So 3rd and 6 from the 10-yard line now as the Aggies work out spread formation. Mayer gets the snap, time to throw, zips it across the middle, and it's caught at the 16-yard line, diving down forward out to the 21-yard line. And that was a catch by number 83, Darius Livingston, the junior out of Stockton, California, as the Aggies convert on 3rd down once again and move the chains. Quickly to the line, fake a handoff to Thomas, rolling out to his right, time to throw, looking deep down the sideline, and Mayer ends up just tossing that ball away. Great coverage on the backside by the Lehigh Mountain Hawks, and they force another 2nd and 10.
No intentional grounding, receiver in the area.
2nd and 10 now, 5:28 left in this first quarter. The Aggies working left to right. They're wearing the Golden Gums blue jerseys and gold pants. Coming on the pistol, they hand the ball off to Thomas. Thomas has some space rolling the right side of the offensive line out to the 25-30, cutting out of bounds just about at the 34-yard line. They'll say he was knocked down at the, let's see where they officially mark it down. They'll say the 34 right over there, so a good job by the backup running back coming into this game. But unfortunately, a flag flew in, and there was no holding call. That's why Teron Thomas had so much space off that right side of the offensive line. So on 2nd down, a rush that would have made its way out to another 1st down will turn into a 2nd and 20. The Ags just got out of the shadows of their own end zone, but now they're brought back in after the holding call. It'll be 2nd and 20 from the 21-yard line. Mayer in the empty set now from the far hash mark, trips out to the near side of the field. Harrell, the lone receiver, or pardon me, that's Darius Livingston is the lone receiver on the far side of the field as the Mountain Hawks elect to take a timeout here. Maybe matchup that they didn't like to see in terms of the position group that they had on the field. They had 3 linebackers on the field against a spread formation of the Aggies. So another timeout is taken. Lehigh takes their first timeout of the half, and it'll be a 7-0 lead for the Aggies with 5:06 left in this first quarter of play. You're tuned into UC Davis football here on 90.3 KDVS Davis.
To go.
30-second timeout here as the Aggies come back on the field, facing a 2nd and 20 with 5:06 left in this first quarter play. From the 11-yard line of the Aggies, they'll work out of a trips right set out of the shotgun. Flags fly in here as we're trying to get a clarification on the field by the officials. I believe the play clock did not start before the Aggies came out there and tried to snap the ball, so a little bit of a mistake on the behalf of the officials, and we'll run it back. It'll still be 2nd and 20 as we await the officials' positioning to be ready. And now Mayer coming out in that same formation. Shotgun snap, Teron Thomas off the left hip of Jake Mayer. And it'll be trips out to the near side of the field. Matthew Heyman comes into this game, the backup tight end. 3-step drop. Mayer looks deep down the field, toss it out to Chris Vaughn. Chris Vaughn trying to leap over a defender at the 20-yard line. He'll get down to the 22-yard line, gets a nice little pickup of just about 11 on the play. And he'll bring it to 3rd and 9 from the 22-yard line for the Ags. Trips out to the far side of the field as the Aggies have Heyman off the left side of the offensive line. The backup tight end only has 2 catches on the season for 45 yards. but he has one touchdown as well. They toss it out to Kraft. Kraft gets the screen, working along the far sideline, out to the 30, 35, 40, 45, brought down from behind at the 47-yard line. And a ball that was caught at just about the 23-yard line turns into a huge pickup for the Aggies. Well, they say he actually went out of bounds at the 38-yard line, but the Aggies are able to pick up a first down. 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Mayer, 7-step drop, looking deep down the field. Swings the big arm, has a man deep. It's caught by Jared Harrell, brought down at the 5-yard line. Jared Harrell on the huge reception. As that brings the Aggies inside the red zone. It'll be 1st and goal from the 10-yard line now as the Aggies replace Heyman on the field for Wesley Priest.
First down, goal to go.
They motion Teron Thomas into the flats, and they'll toss it out to Thomas there. Thomas has one man to beat, veering towards the sideline, out at the 5-yard line, diving into the end zone. Did they see will they see that they got it? No. Stopped by Ricky O'Neal at just about the 2-yard line. So Teron Thomas was extending the ball out to the end zone, but they'll say he was marked out of bounds before that. Still a nice pickup of 8 on the play.
Ball is on the 2-yard line.
Ball is on the 2, 2nd and goal. 3:43 left. The Aggies working left to right from the near hash mark. Mayer gets the snap. No, it's Teron Thomas on the Wildcat. Thomas stutter steps a defender, and he's brought down after a gain of nothing, really. So Teron Thomas, that's his first Wildcat snap of the season, but he showed that it was quite an efficient set for the Aggies last year. Eric Slater, the man on the tackle, the outside linebacker out of Old Tappan, New Jersey, for the Mount Hawks. So Mayer will come back in at quarterback now as they swap away from the Wildcat set. 3rd down, hand it off to Thomas. No, it's an RPO as the ball's tossed out to just about.
Pass was complete to number 5, Blake
That's
Thorpe.
still at the 3-yard line there, caught by Blake Thorpe, the freshman tight end out of Walnut Creek, California. So the Aggies get all the way down into the red zone, but they'll be faced to make a decision there. 4th down here on the field, but the Aggies offense comes out. Once again, they'll stay out on the field, and the Aggies will roll the dice. 1 for 1 to down, 4th down already, and they'll send Mayer out in the empty set. Mayer gets the snap, looking deep down the field, has a man in the end zone, cut, and that's another touchdown for the Aggies. Wesley Priest gets his first touchdown of the season, and it puts the Aggies up 13-0 with 2:35 left in this first quarter of play. The Aggies go for on 4th down. They cap it off with another touchdown. And Dan Hawkins does not care early on in this game. He is willing to put his men on the field and say, hey, we are better than you, and we are getting into this end zone as the Ags await the PAT from Max O'Rourke. Waiting for the snap. O'Rourke's kick is up. It's through the uprights, crosses the T on the PAT, and the Aggies go up 14-0 with 2:35 left in this first quarter play. The Aggies cap off an 11-play, 94-yard drive with that 4-yard pass touchdown. Wesley Priest's first of the season. It only took them 3 minutes and 41 seconds to drive all the way down the field. And the Ags offense is showing that thunderous speed early on in this game. Jared Harrell made the huge catch to set the Ags up inside the red zone. He caught the ball down at the 10-yard line, and they finally capped things off. So the Ags offense showing off that true Shredville spirit as they come out and score again. So far in this game, Jake Mayer is an absolute monster. 18 for 22, 171 yards, 2 touchdowns as he has led the way for the Ags. Gilliam, 3 carries for 18 yards as well. He had the nice little pickup of 14 on the play, but he hasn't gotten much on the running game so far. And this is a rare thing to see. Teron Thomas only has 1 carry so far for a -1 yards, but this is a man that I believe he has a total of just about -4 yards in his Aggies career. The man does not get knocked down in the backfield. He falls forward and rarely loses yards. So despite the fact that he has that 1 yard for negative 1 yard, that's a huge thing to see. A bad kick by Matt Blair as it bounces down on the far sideline. So the ball bounced down at the 4-yard line right on the sideline hash marks, but he got a great bounce and the ball will bounce all the way into the end zone. So the Mountain Hawks will start out on the 25-yard line, and quite the lucky bounce off the right leg of the senior kicker, Matt Blair. The Aggies have 2 kickers on this roster. Max O'Rourke is the place kicker, and Matt Blair is the kickoff man. Blair is he's the long field goal kicker for the Aggies. He has quite the boot on him, but Max O'Rourke, after transferring from his junior college a few years back, has stolen the starting job, and Matt Blair, a true Aggie, continues to stay on this roster and hold on the kickoff duties. Passes passed out to about the, let's say, that was actually right at the stick, so that'll be moved down to the 35-yard line as Monaco completes his second pass of the game. First down for Lehigh, as Monaco is 2 for 7 in this game so far for 33 yards. Tyler Monaco from the far hash mark, working right to left. He'll call for the snap. One clap, hands the ball off on the sweep, trying to work towards the near sideline, veering up the field, brought down at the 40-yard line after a gain of about 4 on the play. They call it 3 on the carry, actually, and they'll be brought down at the 39-yard line. Nick Eaton, the man on the tackle for the Aggies. Rayshawn Allen is in the backfield alongside Monaco here from the near hash mark. 2 upbacks off the sides. There's 1 upback off the right side of the offensive line for the Mountain Hawks. Snap is called, zips it across the middle of the field, and that goes off the hands of his receiver. Devin Bibbins, the backup running back, was the intended receiver on the play. Line out and the slot. And the senior was not able to get anywhere near that ball as the ball tipped off the fingertips. And it'll be 3rd down. 3rd and 7 from the 39-yard line. 1:35 left in this first quarter play. Monaco looking to convert his 3rd first down of the game. Monaco with trips out to the far side, comes out in the shotgun. 3-step drop, pressure brought up the middle, off the edge, and the ball is caught in. The receiver is tackled down at the 46-yard line, and George Porterreal has shown to be the safety valve for this Mountain Hawks team, as Monaco was smacked down hard by Nazanesi rushing off the left side of the offensive line, but he stood in the pocket long enough to get that ball off, and that's a great pickup off the right arm of Tyler Monaco, as it makes it 1st and 10 inside the Aggie side of the field. From the Aggie 47 from the near hash mark, the Mountain Hawks come out. Monaco fakes the handoff, looking deep down the field. It's tossed behind his intended receiver, Devin Bibbins. And both the passes directed towards Bibbins' direction has been incomplete so far for Monaco. Just not able to get on the same page with the senior backup running back. 1st and 10, 1:02 left in this first quarter. The Aggies looking to make a stop here on 2nd down. Tighten off the right side of the offensive line, lined up as the upback, as the Aggies put Flowers on the edge. They hand it off, they toss the ball out to the far sideline, and that's brought in at the 38-yard line. So an RPO designed play for the Mountain Hawks, and the ball was tossed out to number 82, Jalen Burbage. Once again, 3rd and 6 from the 43-yard line. The clock continues to tick. 26 seconds left in the play clock. 41 seconds left in the game clock for this first quarter of play. Monaco looking to show that composure of a senior in the backfield. Awaiting the snap, checks down the defense. The Aggies look like they're playing man, looking deep down the field. It's caught right at the sticks and making a move in between the hash marks down at the 34-yard line. And Austin Dambach was the receiver on the play. The sophomore out of Fromville, Pennsylvania, continues to move this offensive possession for the Mountain Hawks. Tyler Monaco between the hash marks. Two receivers out to the far side of the field. He'll await the snap. They hand it off this time, cutting up the middle. There's nowhere to go. Running into the back of his offensive lineman and only getting about 2 on the carry. That was Rayshawn Allen on the play, and they'll bring us to the end of the first quarter of the play. The Aggies had 3 offensive possession and was able to cap off on 2 of them as they go up 14-0 here going into the second quarter of play. But the Lehigh Mountain Hawks have found their little bit of a groove, and they're driving their way downfield on this UC Davis defense. So on the other side of the break, we'll bring things back for second quarter coverage here at UC Davis Health Stadium. You're tuned into UC Davis football here on KDVS 90.3 FM Davis.
California Davis has started construction of the Student Athlete Performance Center.
Flip the sides of the field here as the second quarter is beginning. The UC Davis Aggies on defense here as the ball swung out into the flats, out to the 35-yard line, or 25-yard line rather, brought down at just about the sticks, as that's another first down for the Mountain Hawks offense. It was caught in by number 12, Austin Dambach. First down for the Mountain Hawks at the 32-yard line of the Aggies here to kick off the second quarter. Substitutions on the field for the Ags as they bring in Nick Eaton at the inside linebacker position. Sorry about that, at the strong side linebacker position, as well as Joshua Suwani. Motion the wide receiver into the slot. It's a read option off the right of the offensive line. There's nowhere to go as the Ags sniffed that one out, showed the discipline, and there's nowhere to go for this Lehigh offense there, as it'll turn into a 2nd and 10 from the 25-yard line.
In on the tackle was Bryce Rogers.
Bryce Rogers, the defensive end, or defensive tackle rather, out of East Palo Alto, California. Man on the tackle there, the redshirt junior, redshirting last year. Monaco, his heels are on the 30-yard line. The ball is on the 25-yard line. Awaiting the snap, trying to get in the UC Davis red zone. Pressure coming off the left side. He's brought down at the 46-yard line. Pardon me, that's the 44-yard line. As the Aggies brought pressure from the right side of the offensive line, and Naz Anesi was the man who got the sack on the play. Great job by the rush linebacker. And Anesi, one of the captains on this Aggies team, comes up for a huge play to make it 3rd and long. 3rd and 19 officially on the field with 13 minutes left in the second quarter play. And the Mountain Hawks will make some substitutions on the field. They'll come out, trips out to the far side of the field, working left to right. Monaco awaits the snap from the near hash mark. Alongside him in the backfield is Nate Hope, calling for the snap. The snap is off the right side of the line. He had to gather it in, being pressured, rolling out to his right, looking deep down the field into the end zone. Has a man there, and it's caught. No, it's dropped in the back of the end zone. George Porterea has been the outlet for Monaco all night long. He beat his defender, was standing all alone on the S of the Aggies end zone logo, but he just was not able to bring in the ball. So on 3rd and an eternity, the wide receiver drops the ball in the end zone, and the Aggies catch a break here.
All right, Aggie fans, it's 4th down.
4th down and 19 here. They almost ripped off a huge play on that last snap, but unfortunately for the Lehigh Mountain Hawks, they were not able to bring that one in, so they'll go for a 4th down and long. Pressure coming up the middle, toss it deep down the sideline, and there's nowhere to go. The ball was deemed uncatchable as Austin Dambeck was the intended receiver. And just like that, the Aggies get out of trouble, and they send the Mountain Hawks offense out to the far sideline while they'll stand with the rest of their team, and the defense will come back on the field for the Mountain Hawks. The Aggies will get a turnover on downs and get the ball back on their own 33-yard line, facing a 1st and 10. The Aggies offense so far has totaled a total of 191 yards early on in this first half of play. And they'll come out once again with Jake Mayer as the quarterback from the near hash mark, working right to left on the near hash mark from the 33-yard line. A clap is called by Mayer. Mayer, 3-step drop, tossing it deep down the sideline. It's caught in by Carson Crawford. And let's see if they say he brought it in. Yes, he got both feet down, so that's an NFL catch indeed. And they get into the Mountain Hawks side of the field, brought down at the 47-yard line. Carson Crawford was covered up, but trust between the receiver and the quarterback allowed Mayer to make the play. Fake the handoff to Gilliam, looking deep down the other side, and then it's caught by Crawford once again. Back to Crawford. Crawford picks up the 1st down with a 12-yard reception, and the Aggies go into mock speed mode. Crawford, the slot receiver for the Aggies, has done so much so early on. The quarterback in high school shows off that he can be a running threat, a throwing threat, and as well as a receiving threat as they go out once again. Carson Crawford looking for the pass, throws down the sideline, and he'll go 0 for 1 so far in this game. Just as I was saying it, Carson Crawford tries to show off that arm, but great recognition by the Lehigh Mountain Hawks as they sniffed at the play. And they'll force a 2nd and 10. From the 34-yard line, the Aggies have drove down 49 yards so far in this drive. A shovel pass up the gut. That's brought in by Alonzo Gilliam as Alonzo Gilliam makes his way out after first contact. He gets close to the 1st down yardage. He'll be stopped about 1 yard short of the line to get, as the Ags show a little bit of ingenuity on that play, on the gadget play. They hand it off to Gilliam, this time straight up right away. He'll be brought down just about half a yard short of the line to gain. The Aggies don't even think about it for a second as they leave their offense on the field. They went for it twice already on 4th down, and they'll continue to do so. Mayer from the shotgun in between the hash marks. Man coverage on the side of Lehigh here as the Ags work with trips to the bottom of the screen. Heading up the right side of the offensive line is Wes Priest. The Aggies with Gilliam in the backfield. They hand the ball off to Gilliam, and a timeout was called by the Mountain Hawks. That's their 2nd timeout of this first half of play. Lehigh, at the very last possible moment, gets that timeout off, and the Aggies will face a 4th and 1 on the other side of this break from the 24-yard line. Ags are up 14-0 with 11:15 left in the second quarter of play. You are tuned into UC Davis football here on KDVS 90.3 FM Davis. 4th down and 1 now as the Aggies come out on offense. They fake the jet sweep, hand it off to Gilliam. Gilliam getting off the left side of the offensive line, up the gut of the defense, and he's able to move the chains on a quick snap from the Aggies. 11:04 left in this first half of play as the Aggies, up 14-0 already, continue to churn down the field. Up back off the left side of the offensive line. They hand it off to Gilliam. Nope, it's a play action. Rolling to his right. Tosses the ball, and it's caught by Wes Priest. Wes Priest trying to make a move and finds himself caught in the backfield. He'll be brought in for a loss of 1 on the play. Wes Priest didn't look like he was actually even a receiver on the play, blocking off the right side of the offensive line. The ball came up to him, and he tried to make a heads-up play, but unfortunately for the Aggies, they'll be 2nd down and 11 from the 21-yard line. 10:28 left in this first half of play. The Aggies working right to left, trying to get into the red zone. They motion Gilliam into the left slot. Aggies await the snap with Blake Thorpe off the left side of the offensive line. Mayer has time to throw, stepping up in the pocket. It's tossed out to Gilliam. Gilliam at the 15-yard line makes his way out to the 14-yard line on the drag route, and it'll be brought down right over there inside the red zone at the 14-yard line. That'll be 3rd and 4. Gain of 8. Mayer gets the snap once again, toss it. It's into some traffic, and it's almost intercepted. The intended receiver on the play was Chris Vaughn. Chris Vaughn had the ball in his hands, but it was slapped out as it was almost intercepted by the Lehigh defense. And the Aggies don't bat an eye once again. They are not sending Max Rourke out for a field goal. They're going for it for the 4th time on 4th down early in this game. They'll show a look, 2 receivers out to the near side of the field. They'll motion out Gilliam, so he'll be trips on the bottom side of the field as Mayer comes out in the empty set. They toss it. It's caught in by Thorpe. Thorpe right at the sticks. They'll say he got 2 yards past the sticks, and he'll be brought down at the 8-yard line. The freshman out of Las Lomas High School came in as a 3-star recruit, and he's showing why he is quite that talented tight end. He's looking to be the replacement for Wesley Priest. Motion, they hand it off out to Gilliam. Gilliam diving forward up the middle of the offensive line, and he'll get a gain of 2 on 1st and goal, so it'll be 2nd and goal from the 7-yard line. Aggies take a quick break for a second as they look towards the near sideline. They're not quite in mock speed mode right now as the field has shrunk down in the Lehigh red zone. 2nd and just about 6. They hand it off to Gilliam. Gilliam off the sweep action. Stiff arms a defender, working his way out to the near sideline. And he's brought down inside the 5-yard line. They'll say he's brought down to the 4-yard line. So Gilliam gets another pickup, and the Aggies will face a 3rd and goal from the 4. Raising his right arm, motioning out the play. The backup quarterbacks, Hunter Rodriguez alongside Brock Johnson, signaling the plays from the sideline for the Aggies. Tied in off the left side of the offensive line. The motion Chris Vaughn from right to left, and the Aggies from the near hash mark will call for the snap. Mayer tossing out into the flats, and it'll be caught just about at the 2-yard line. The wide receiver caught the ball right at about the goal line. They had to come back. That was Gilliam on the reception. He had to come back and make the catch, and unfortunately he dove back to make the catch as that was the only possible place for Jake Mayer to throw the ball without it being picked off. So now 4th down once again. The Aggies are going for it. A timeout is called before the fact. So the Aggies are absolutely rolling the dice early on in this game. They're going for it for the 5th time on 4th down. You wouldn't think this is a Dan Hawkins offense, maybe something along the lines of a Mike Leach offense, as the wild gambler head coach out of Washington State pulled off a win yesterday. But, I mean, I guess that is in the DNA of the Aggies. The Aggies team under Dan Hawkins in his 3rd year here with the Aggies has turned the program around. A program that was stuck in the middle tier for so long has absolutely turned under the tenure of Dan Hawkins. He's 16-10 after 3 years here with the Aggies. Finished 5-6 in his first year, and it's only been up from here, leading his team all the way to the number 4 spot in the FCS. So a quick break in the action here And we'll bring it back on the other side to see if the Aggies can convert on a 4th and 1 right at the goal line. You're tuned into UC Davis football here on KDVS and 90.3 FM Davis. Just inside the 2-yard line. It'll be 4th down and about 1.5 yards, and the Aggies are electing to go for it here early on in this game. 7:57 left, quick handoff, handed off the middle, and Gilliam stopped bouncing back, and he'll be tackled down behind the line of scrimmage to gain. So the Aggies finally roll snake eyes here as they rolled the ball, or they rolled the dice so many times in this first half of play. So they'll officially be 4 for 5 on 4th down, and that's an absurd number to see early on in this game. But fortunately for the Ags, that means the Lehigh Mountain Hawks offense that has shown flashes of excellence, but for the most part, they haven't found their groove, and they'll be faced to try to drive all the way down the field, starting at just about the 2.5-yard line. Tyler Monaco has turned things around just a little bit as he is 6 for 15 for 70 yards. Lining up in his own end zone, he'll hand the ball off. That's off the left guard, and there's nowhere to go, sniffing just about half a yard on the carry. And Rayshawn Allen is brought down after that very short gain. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Number 26, Rashawn Allen on the carry. He was stopped by
Substitution coming into the game as Jalen Barrage comes into the game as the far side wide receiver here. Adding off the right side of the offensive line is Alex Snyder. He has 5 catches for 79 yards so far this season. Trips out to the far side of the field. The Aggies showing a zone coverage. Motioning the running back into the flats, tossing it out. It's caught, and no, it goes to the hands, and it's not a lateral. The ball was thrown forward as Rayshawn Allen could not get the pass, worrying that it was a lateral by the arm of his quarterback. He sprinted down to try to field it, but the referees were able to swing their arms and make it 3rd down. 3rd down and 9. Aggie Stadium is packed here for their season opener. Riding high with the hopes of reaching a national championship, they'll have to get through Lehigh tonight to continue these dreams. Aggies come out, 1 defensive back over the top, and that looks to be John Amadio. Pardon me, that's Jalen White as the lone defensive back as the Ags go man across the board. Looking, tosses it into the legs of a receiver. Intended receiver on the play was George Porterreal, but Tyler Monaco had nowhere to go. The Aggies' pressure got right up into his face, and he was able to toss the ball away before taking a safety. So 4th down, and the Aggies' defense force a 3-and-out as the punt unit comes out to the field. Austin Hennings got a great punt on his very first punt of the game. The ball bounced down at the 3-yard line, but was able to drop down inside of the 10-yard line. So now he'll have to show off if he has a big boot here on his 3rd punt. Heels on the edge of his end zone. The punt will be dropped down at the 35-yard line, fielded at the 40-yard line. Stiff-arm defender trying to work towards the near sideline, carrying defenders all the way out of bounds at the 30-yard line. And Jalen White has shown quite the return on the play. A hard-earned 10 yards, and the Aggies will get the ball all the way in to the 30-yard line of the Lehigh territory. 6:47 left in this first half of play. The Aggies are up 14-0 as they look to see if they can knock it into the end zone. They got stopped right at the goal line going for it on 4th down, and they'll see if they can counterpunch right back and maybe deliver a 21-punch blow on this next drive. So a quick break on the field. We'll take it as well. You're tuned into UC Davis football here on KDVS 90.3 FM Davis. The Aggies come out on offense once again out of the pistol. Mayer rolling out to his right, tosses it out to Teron Thomas. Teron Thomas off the screen, out to the 20, 10, one defender beat, tries to hurl over the top, doing a full front flip, and brought down inside of the 5-yard line, out to the 4-yard line, or the mark it down at the 3-yard line as Teron Thomas showing off the athleticism, trying to go over the top, and a huge reception off the screen to start out this drive. The Aggies all the way into the 5-yard line, or inside of the 5-yard line, and they'll come from the near hash mark, trips out to the bottom side of the field. They hand the ball off. Gilliam diving through the defenders, and he finds his way into the end zone for another UC Davis touchdown. 20-0, the Aggies rip off a 2-play drive, driving down 30 yards and a touchdown here in the second quarter of play. 6:22 left as Max Rourke comes out to cross the tee on the PAT. And the Aggs' explosive Shredville offense shows its teeth once again. O'Rourke awaiting the snap. Carson Crawford, the holder. Snap is off. Kick is up, and that's a 21-point lead for the Aggs with 6:22 left in this first half of play. Aggs throw up 21 points early on as they faced a little bit of adversity on the last drive, but they said, forget about adversity. We're going in here and we're smashing the ball into the end zone. Huge night here for the Aggies as the stands on the near side of the field on the side of the Aggies is packed, and the student section is alive and well a few weeks before school starts here. And it's a beautiful sight here. You see the UC Davis water tower, and just across the field you actually see a beautiful nearly full moon. What a great night for some football here in Davis, California, as the Aggies rip off the 21-0 lead here. 6:22 left in this first quarter of play, or first half of play, rather. Welcome to the jungle, and it's been a jungle quite indeed for the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. They've been tangled up. They've been brought down with sacks and passes batted down as the defense has shown to be quite the unit here. Awaiting the kickoff, Matt Blair heels on the 32-yard line, taking 2 lateral steps, and the 2 deep men for the Mountain Hawks, Jalen Ford and George Porterreal. Running up, swings the right leg, and it'll go deep inside the end zone. It'll bounce down behind the end zone, so a huge kick off the right leg of the 5-star recruit, Max Blair. And now the Aggies will go back on defense from the 25-yard line after the great kickoff from Matt Blair. Matt Blair running off at the 35-yard line, gets a nice high five from the head coach, Dan Hawkins. He loves all facets of the game, offense, defense, special teams. This Aggies unit definitely is a team that pays attention to the small details, and that's what is going to bring them forward and carry them forward throughout this year. From the far hash mark now, Monaco comes out looking for a wide receiver, tossed out, caught in by number 12. That's Austin Damback. Damback ran a drag route across the field. He caught the ball at the 29-yard line, and he was brought down right over there as well. 2nd and 7 here from the 28-yard line. 6:05 counting down left in this first half of play. Monaco staring towards the sideline from the near hash mark. Calls out the play to his unit. Bunch receivers off the far side of the field. And Monaco with the running back, Nate Hope, in the backfield, awaits the snap. The Aggies show a 4-man front. Sending all 4. They toss the screen out, being broken up in the backfield. And that was a great play by Devin King. Devin King was being blocked, but there was no way you're stopping that man. A heat-seeking missile got all the way to the ball, and he'll force a 3rd down.
3rd down, 7 yards to go.
Nazanesi comes onto the field as he lines up at the rush linebacker's spot. 3-man front for the Aggies as the only defensive tackle in the game right now is Bryce Rogers playing the nose guard. 3rd down and 8, 5:10 left, play clock counting down, 7, 6, 5. Monaco's going to have to get the snap off. 3, 2, 1. Gets the snap off, looking deep down the field. Pressure up in his face, brought down. No! A holding call at the very end of the play. The ball was tossed into the ground, but the ball will go back after a 10-yard holding call on this play. Pressure coming off the left side of the offensive line. Nick Eaton lined up at the left defensive end position instead of his native strong side linebacker position. And the penalty is actually declined, rather, as there was an incomplete pass. And despite the fact that there was no sack on the play, the Aggies force another punt from this Lehigh offense.
Number 10, Jalen White, back deep in the
Jalen White, the man deep for the Aggies. He'll line up at the 25-yard line initially, but walks in between to the far hash mark, just about at the 40-yard line now. He'll call for the fair catch, is off his leg, and then we picked up from the Mountain Hawks at the 49-yard line. A fumbled ball on the punt, as the Mountain Hawks will get a swing from Uncle Mo right over there. The momentum bug will come back their way. So unfortunately for the Aggies, a botch play on special teams will end up bringing the Mountain Hawks forward for about, let's see, let's do a little bit of math here. So it was just about a 25-yard punt on the play. And unfortunately for the Aggies, it turned into essentially a 25-yard reception, bringing them all the way down to their 49-yard line. So the Mountain Hawks trying to steal a possession here as they line up. Bunch receiver off to the near side of the field. And Monaco will be on for the quarterback position as well. Pressure, rolling inside the pocket, brought down. Bryce Rogers alongside Nick Eaton combined for the sack, and they'll be 2nd and long here. Nick Eaton rushed off the edge. He was able to push the offensive lineman into the quarterback, and Bryce Rogers came over there to finish the job. It'll be 2nd and long, officially 2nd and 16 on the field from the 43-yard line. So despite the botch play on special teams, the Aggies defense is coming out here and trying to steal the ball back for their offense. 4-13. The tight end motions left and then comes back right from the far hash mark. Play action pass. Monaco sprinting out to his right, looking deep down the field. Toss it along the sideline, and that was just thrown away. The pressure from the Aggies has been amazing so far this game. So many quarterback hurries, so many sacks so early on.
3rd down.
And despite the fact that the strength of this Aggies team is inside their defensive backfield, the front 7 is showing up, and they're saying, hey, we're a complete unit. We can do everything on this field, so don't count us out. 4-1 left in this first half of play. The Aggies lead 21-0. 3rd down and 16 from the 43-yard line. Monaco working trips towards the near side of the field, sprinting outright, pressure, toss it deep down the field, and it'll be a diving interception attempt, but unable to get underneath the ball is Devin King, so it'll be 4th down and long once again. 3:56 left in the second quarter of play. as Devin King was just unable to get underneath the ball, but fortunately for the Aggies, they send out Isaiah Thomas this time to try to return his first punt. Isaiah Thomas and Jalen White, the defensive back, splitting the punt returning for this Aggies team. Isaiah Thomas has really handled the job all his career for the Aggies from his freshman year. And now coming out as a junior, he'll see if he can fair catch this ball at the 21-yard line. Fair catch is called out. And the punt flips the side of the field as the Aggies will get it from that 21-yard line. A good punt from the right leg of Austin Henning. And the Aggies will come back on offense. So despite the fact that they botched that punt, the Aggies were able to come out here, flip the field on defense. And Jake Mayer, alongside his team, will come out and see if they can have a little bit of a gadget play here. So Jake Mayer lines up from the far hash mark here, and the quarterback in the backfield is Carson Crawford. The Aggies showing a little bit of fluff there as they just put the makeup on the offense. And for the near hash mark, they'll hand it off to Crawford. Crawford on the sweep action, getting out to the far sideline, or the near sideline rather, pushed out of bounds at the 28-yard line, but a flag flies in, and it'll be a holding call on the left tackle, likely Colton Lamson. Yep, that's exactly what they call it. Colton Lamson, the junior of El Dorado Hills, California. This transfer from Sacramento City College, just about 20-something miles down the road here. It'll be called for the holding call. First and 20 now from the 12-yard line of the Aggies, and Mayer will call for the snap. Hands the ball off to Thomas. Thomas sniffed out in the backfield, nowhere to go on the play, and he'll mark him down at the 10-yard line. So once again, Thomas loses yards on the carry, which is almost unheard of. Thomas lines up in the near slot now as the Aggies come out on the empty set. Quick snap, it's passed out to Hyman. Heyman gets the ball out to just about the 13-yard line. That's nowhere near enough. The backup tight end out of Santa Rosa Junior College tried to see if he can show the speed down the near sideline, but there was nowhere to go. It'll be 3rd down and 15 now.
3rd down, 14 to go.
3rd down, and let's keep it at 15 here from the 17-yard line. They motion Chris Vaughn across the formation. 5-step drop back, tossing out. Chris Vaughn has the ball, making his way from the 15 out to the 20, pushed out of bounds just at around the original line of scrimmage. They'll say it's actually about 1 yard shy of the original line of scrimmage. And the Aggies will have to punt for the 2nd time today.
That brings up 4th down, about 11 yards to go.
Daniel Whelan will come out once again to show off his big right leg. Whelan so far had a 49-yard punt in his first punt attempt. And this time he'll have to show off the big leg once again. That ball did end up inside the 20-yard line as he awaits the snap. The deep return man for the Mountain Hawks is George Porterreal. Snap is off. The punt is up. It's a booming punt fielded at the 15-yard line. Cutting up, tackled down by the ankles at the 22-yard line. That's a tremendous tackles on special teams by number 23, I believe, was the man on the tackle for the Aggies, and that was the defensive back, Jordan Perryman, the starting left cornerback, coming up for the huge tackle, and that's another big punt by Daniel Whelan. Whelan, 2 punts, 111 yards, averaging 55 and half a yard here. Whelan is just an absolute threat for this UC Davis team. He is able to flip the field, and that's what keeps this defense so energized. From the far hash mark now, Monaco will come out once again. Trips out to the bottom side of the field as he motions his running back out in the flats. They toss the ball out to the running back. That was Rayshawn Allen, but once again, a little bit short stroke on the play as Tyler Monaco is unable to hook up with his wide receivers. This is not the first time tonight. He's shown this as a consistent trend as he tosses the ball into the feet of his running backs. A new running back checks in the game for the Mountain Hawks, as that's number 32, Zathan Hill, Rolling out to his right, Monaco looking down the field, off the hands of his receivers, and once again unable to convert on the pass. Number 13, Matt Jordan, was the intended receiver on the play, but the Aggies force a quick third down.
10 yards to go.
Third and 10 from the 23-yard line of the Mountain Hawks. 2:08 left in this first half of play. The Aggies show a 3-3 stack. They hand the ball off. That goes off the left side of the offensive line, making his way out to the 35, out to the 40-yard line, and brought out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line, but enough yardage right over there to pick up the first down yardage. And the freshman running back, Zathan Hill, was able to go over there and convert on 3rd and long for this Mountain Hawks offense. Zathan Hill stays in the backfield alongside the right hip of Monaco, as Monaco, working left to right from the 4 hash marks, awaits the snap. Snap is off, 3-step drop, looking deep down the field, has time to throw, pressure coming off the left side. He's brought down from behind. Another sack by this defensive line of this UC Davis Aggies, and number 51 for the Aggies was the one who was able to get that sack. That was number 51, Sione Aliki from North Hollywood, California. Timeout on the field as it's 2nd and 14 with 1:25 left in this first half of play. The Aggies are starting to take timeouts because they're trying to get the ball back, and they're trying to score once again, up 21-0 with 1:25 left. We'll take a quick break on the field as well with the teams on the field, and we'll be back on the other side of this break as the Aggies will face Lehigh on offense, facing a 2nd and 14. Back here at UC Davis Health Stadium, the Aggies are on defense. 1:28 left in this first half of play as Monaco lines up along the far side hash mark, 2 receivers towards the near side of the field. And Monaco taking a 3-step drop, tosses it out, and that's caught right at the original line of scrimmage, brought down after a gain of just about 5 on the play. And that's the backup tight end, Ian O'Connor, on the reception, the freshman out of Rumson, New Jersey. That conversion will make it that pass will make it 3rd and 9 from the 40-yard line. And unfortunately for the Mountain Hawks, the Aggies don't even have to waste a timeout here, as the freshman wide receiver made a freshman play stepping out of bounds. Shreds out to the near side of the field. Monaco from the far hash mark, calling out to his offensive line, gets the snap, belt high snap, looking deep down the field. It's batted up in the air, and there's nowhere to go after that. The Aggies, it was actually rolled a fumble, fielded down out to the 20, 10, inside for the touchdown. Isaiah Thomas on the heads-up play, picks up the ball and gets into the end zone for the Aggies.
Rolling on the field. The ball is knocked out of the quarterback's hand. Fumble.
So what initially looked like an incomplete pass turns into a fumble off the right arm of Tyler Monaco. And then Isaiah Thomas says, hey, I'll take that ball, and takes it 30 yards into the end zone. And that puts the UC Davis Aggies up 27-0 with 1:11 left in this first half of play. Wow, what a turn of events there. The Aggies were trying to get the ball in offense to see if they can drive down and put on more points on the board, but instead, the defense will go right ahead and do it themselves. The play is under review here, so we'll take a quick break before coming back. We'll see if the call will stand on the field, and we'll see if the Aggies go up 27-0, or if it'll be ruled an incomplete pass. And we'll see if maybe we can get the Aggies offense out on the field. On the other side of this break, I'll inform you of what's going on from the review. You're tuned into UC Davis football here on 90.3 FM KDVS Davis. So a very quick review here, as the ball was actually informed to be an incomplete pass off the right arm of Monaco. So Monaco will take that any day. That turns out to be his 24th attempt of the day. And he's only completed 9 of those for 78 yards. The UC Davis defense has absolutely tortured the senior quarterback for Lehigh. Snap is off on the punt now, off the right leg of Henning. The ball will be bounced down at the 30-yard line, or the 35-yard line, fielded by Isaiah Thomas, brought down at the 30-yard line. So a flip of the field here as Isaiah Thomas has to dive down, and he'll give his offense 1 minute and 10 seconds along with 1 timeout to work with. Oh, what a crazy chain of events there. What originally looked like it could have been a forced fumble and a return for the Aggies turns into a punt, and the team will come out for another offensive possession, 1:10, 1 timeout, and we'll see if we can see the 1-minute drill from this Aggies offense. They already work in the hurry up, so this doesn't seem like it'll be much of a struggle trying to get the play calls out and everything like that, but the Aggies do have 70 yards to drive down the field. They motion Harrell. Harrell's the lone wide receiver on the near side of the field from the near hash mark. Mayer, 3-step drop, tosses it out. It's out of the hands of Teron Thomas. Teron Thomas, the backup running back, was lined up in the left side slot. He ran a drag route towards the near sideline. And the Aggies working right to left will face a 2nd and 10. 1:06 left. Gilliam comes into the game. Tight end off the left side of the offensive lineup. The Aggies, as Harrell once again is the lone receiver on the near side. Man-to-man coverage. 2 safeties over the top for Lehigh. Snap is off, pressure up in the face, and Mayer is brought down at the 20-yard line. The first sack of Jake Mayer today, and that comes off the defensive end, Jawan Moreau, the 5th-year defensive end out of Newcastle, Delaware. A loss of 10, and the Ags don't take a timeout. It'll be 3rd and 20. We'll see if Lehigh decides to take a timeout. Nope. Everybody's fine and complacent to stay this way, so the clock will tick down. 36 seconds left in the first half of play, 15 seconds left in the play clock, so the Aggies will have to snap it. The man on the field for the Aggies inside the backfield. It's Jake Mayer alongside Yolonzo Gilliam. They hand it off to Gilliam. Gilliam off the sweep action out to the 20-yard line, tackled out of bounds at the 21-yard line. So Gilliam will have the clock stopped at 16, so Whelan will get 1 more punt attempt in this first half of play. Tremendous punting from Whelan so far today, as he has shown off the leg for an average of 55.5 yards per punt with a long of 62. And then one of those punts as well got inside the 20. Whelan will line up. His heels are at the 7-yard line. And the man deep is George Porterreal for the Mountain Hawks. Snap is off, kick is up. It's a high swirling kick. It'll be fielded out at the 20, or at the 35-yard line. Trouble handling the ball for the wide receiver, George Porterreal, as he caught the ball, dropped it, it bounced back into his hands, and he'll get the ball at just about the 27-yard line. So with 7 seconds left, we'll see if they elect to go with a screen pass, a Hail Mary, or if they just decide to take a knee with their quarterback, Tyler Monaco. The Aggies will have a 3-man defensive line here, 2 receivers over the top, and it'll look like it'll be just a knee from this Lehigh offense. So shotgun snap in the kneeling formation. A knee is taken, and we'll go into the break here at UC Davis Health Stadium, up 21-0 with the Aggies leading the charge. We'll be back for some halftime stats here and some halftime coverage here from UC Davis Health Stadium as we go into the halftime break. Just a quick break and we'll be back. You're tuned into UC Davis football here on 90.3 FM, KDVS Davis. Back at UC Davis Health Stadium with 17 minutes left in this halftime break. We'll go through some halftime stats here. So the Aggies have dominated on offense. They've totaled up 286 total yards. 263 yards came off the right arm of Jake Mayer, who's had quite the night, 28 for 34 with 2 touchdowns. In terms of the rushing game, Gilliam has had the lion's share of the carries, 10 attempts for 33 yards, and the Aggies haven't quite gotten much going in terms of their offense, or their running game rather. The leading receiver for the Aggies is Carson Crawford, the slot receiver. He's has 6 catches for 82 yards. Chris Vaughn tackling in at second, 5 for 21 yards. And the Aggies with a touchdown. Chris Vaughn kicked things off on the initial touchdown, putting the Aggies up 7-0. Wesley Priest tacked on the second one, and then Gilliam bullied his way into the end zone for the 3rd touchdown. In terms of Lehigh, they have 71 total yards, -7 rushing yards. So that's great to see from the defensive line from the Ags, and the front 7 rather, as they are absolutely handling business. The only real consistent run from Lehigh so far was from the freshman running back Zathan Hill. He ripped off a 16-yard rush to move the chains, but other than that, the offense has stemmed off the right arm of Tyler Monaco, who went 9 for 25 for 78 yards, and no touchdowns, no interceptions. So not much going on offense for Lehigh. George Porterreal has been the leading receiver, 3 catches for 47 yards, and he's really been the security blanket for the quarterback, Tyler Monaco. He's been targeted 6 times so far. So when in doubt, they throw out to Monaco. But actually, the leading targeted receiver is Devin Bibbins, who has 11 targets, but he's only been able to rack in 3. And a lot of those targets ended up just going into the feet of the receivers. So with that, we'll take a break and be back for the second half kickoff. 15 minutes left in this halftime, as a bunch of fans take the field and they look to race. So we'll be back on the other side of this break. And yeah, it's been a great first half for the Ags. 14 points in the first quarter, 7 points in the second quarter, and they're up 21-0 at the half against the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. So Max Agrez here with KDVS Sports. We'll take a quick break, or a 15-minute break rather, and be back for the second half kickoff. You're tuned into UC Davis football here on KDVS 90.3 FM Davis. The second half of play is about to kick off as the UC Davis Aggies take the field. 21-0 is the lead. They elected to receive to open up this game as they drove down the field on their opening drive and scored a touchdown. And now they have to kick it off and show that daunting defense once again. Matt Blair, the man to kick it off for the Aggies. And the man deep for Lehigh is George Porterale. Walking the light side, George Porterale is number 1, the cornerback junior out of Miramar, Florida, Jalen Ford. The kick is up. It will touch down on the left side of the UC Davis end zone logo, just above the left side of the U of the UC Davis end zone logo. And the first half has come to a conclusion. The second quarter will begin from the 25-yard line of Lehigh, working left to right. Fans still waiting to take their seats as everybody's still up and about getting concessions. So, a pistol look, the first time we've seen this tonight from Monaco, as maybe this is the halftime adjustment that the Mountain Hawks are looking to make. 2 receivers off the near side of the screen. They fake the handoff. Man, all up in the face, brought down, and that's a huge sack by Nick Eden to kick off the second half of play, bringing down Monaco at the 21-yard line. That's a 9-yard sack on the play. So, not the way you want to start the second half if you're the Lehigh Mountain Hawks, taking a huge hit on your quarterback from the redshirt freshman strong side linebacker. Last year, while he was redshirting, he was named the practice squad player of the year, or the redshirt player of the year, rather. So, a big play will turn into a second in an eternity, a 2nd and 19, as they hand the ball off to Nate Hope on a sweep. Hope has some space off the left side of the offensive line, out to the 20, pushed down at the 22-yard line. Initially, he got up at the 24, but the official said he stepped out of bounds at the 22, so it'll be a 3rd and about 13 or 14 now from the 22-yard line. Clock continuing to churn as Lehigh's offense is looking to stay on their field. White helmets, white jerseys, white pants with the blue numerals for the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. Or brown numerals, rather. Sorry about that. So a shotgun look, that's 2 receivers off to the short side of the field from the far hash mark. Monaco sends his running back into the flats. Looking down the field, pressure coming off the backside. The ball is popped out. It's picked up from the Aggies. Nazanesi is the man to get there, and it'll be brought down at the 10-yard line. Another booming hit from Nick Eaton as he forces the fumble on the quarterback, gets another huge sack, and the Aggies will be set up on offense inside the 15-yard line. Wow, what a play. Nick Eaton has become a force to be reckoned with off the left side of that defensive line. He has been a savage tonight. Oh my goodness. Trying to get some numbers on Nick Eaton right over here, as he is just you cannot say enough about how he's been playing. Yeah, too late for that as the Aggies come out in the empty set. Mayer from the far hash mark, pressure in his face. They toss out to a screen, and the ball is caught at the 15-yard line. An ankle tackle made at the 10-yard line, and the Aggies will get about a 6-yard gain on the play out to the 7-yard line. Chris Vaughn on the wide receiver screen got caught up in a lot of traffic right over there. And now the Aggies will bring in Blake Thorpe, the freshman tight end. Yolonzo Gilliam alongside Jake Mayer in between the hash marks. Thorpe and Wesley Priest off the left side of the offensive line. They motion Chris Vaughn in the jet sweep. They hand it off to Gilliam. No, it's handed off to Vaughn. Vaughn tackled down at the 10-yard line as a great play recognition off by the free safety. Taji Leach was the man on the tackle, the freshman out of Norristown, Pennsylvania. So a negative play on the jet sweep action, and the Ags will face a 3rd and 6 from the 9-yard line. Mayer on the empty set. He motions Thorpe from the left side of the offensive line to the up back on the right side of the offensive line. And Mayer gets a low snap, knee-high snap, steps up in the pocket, zips it back of the end zone off the hands of Wes Priest. And Wes Priest, usually a stern receiver with some strong hands, is not able to bring that one in. So for the first time, we will see number 43, Max O'Rourke, the senior kicker out of Rockland, California, take the field. The Aggies went for it about 5 times on 4th down. They were 4 for 5 in the first half of play on 4th down. But now, sorry, it's not a PAT attempt. It's a field goal attempt here. A 26-yard field goal attempt. Carson Crawford awaiting the snap from the near hash mark. Snap is off. Kick is up. Straight through the uprights. Oh, no! Wide left. From our angle right over here, it looked like it went through the uprights, but the official on the bottom of the field off the right side of the goalpost says, nope, that one went wide right. So, unfortunately for the Ags, they're not able to pin up any points right over here. And they'll have to send their defense back out onto the field. The Ags coming into this game were a minus 33 favorite, apparently, or according to ESPN. So if you're playing the spread in this game, you got quite a few more points for the Ags to score going into the final quarter. But the teams will take a break on the field. We'll take it as well. Aggies are up 21-0 after the missed field goal attempt. The Mountain Hawks will come out on offense from the 20-yard line. On the other side of this break, you're listening to UC Davis football here on KDVS 90.3 FM Davis. Back here as the Mountain Hawks offense takes the field from the far hash mark. Monaco will come out from the empty set. Tighten off the right side of the offensive line. He'll toss it out into the flats. Caught at the 20-yard line, making a move, diving forward, almost losing the ball at the 22-yard line. But there was nowhere to go. The defensive back sniffed that play right away. The pass was caught by George Porter-Real as he gets about a 2-yard pickup on the play, making it 2nd and 8 from the 22-yard line. Looking to the sideline, seeing if they can get anything going on offense so far in the second half of play. The Aggies show a 4-man front here as they might bounce it out to a 3-man front. Getting set at the line is the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. They work with a 3-receiver set towards the near side of the field, and from the far hash mark, Monaco will await the shotgun snap, chest side snap, sprinting out to his right, has blockers in front of him, double pump fakes, tosses it out, and it's too low for George Porter-Real to pick up. And once again, a opportunity to make a play by Porter-Real, but he is unable to snag that ball in. It'll be a 3rd and long, 3rd and 9 from the 21-yard line. 11:20 left in this third quarter of play. Lehigh facing a 3rd and long, working left to right. So this Lehigh team does not huddle, but they will stand in their objective positions on the field and look to the sideline trying to get the call. They work 3 receivers off to the near side of the field from the far hash mark. Once again, Monaco comes alongside Rayshawn Alexander on his hip. Staying in the block as Alexander stepping up in the pocket. Brought down once again. Another sack for this Aggies defense and another 4th down punting situation for the Lehigh Mountain Hawks.
Number 46, Calvin Musette.
Calvin Musette, the man on the tackle, or on the sack rather, for the Aggies. And they'll send Jalen White out once again to field the punt off the right leg of Austin Henning. Jalen White lines up just inside of the 45-yard line. A wobbly punt will be fielded at the 50-yard line. And Jalen White reverses the field, taking it out to the 45-50, has a seam, 45-40, getting towards the sideline. One man to beat, breaks an arm tackle out to the 25, tackle down there, and the Aggies will get it from the 25-yard line. Jalen White making up for the loss of a possession the last time he was out on the field to field the punt. It went off his knee, and the Mountain Hawks were able to get the ball back on the botched punt. But this time around, he shows the athleticism. He shows off the speed. He catches the ball at the 45-yard line, retreats back into his own side of the field before ripping off a huge return. It'll be officially marked down at the 23-yard line, and the Aggies offense has another short field to work with. So another timeout on the field. We'll take it as well here in Aggie Stadium, or pardon me, at UC Davis Health Stadium, as the Aggies are up 21-0 with 10:37 left in the third quarter of play, rather. You're tuned into UC Davis football here on KDVS 90.3 FM Davis. Back here for 1st and 10 from the 23-yard lines as the Aggies line up on offense for a short side, or on a short side of the field. They motion Harrell from left to right. Mayer pump fakes, tosses it into the feet of his offensive lineman, rather, as there was nothing there. They were trying to get a wide receiver screen going for Lance Babb II, but unfortunately for the Aggies, they'll face a 2nd and 10 here. 2nd and 10 from the 23, 10:34 rather. Left in this third quarter of play. No timeouts have been taken. And the Aggies from the near hash mark, they motion Teron Thomas from the right slot into the backfield. They fake the sweep. Mayer stepping back, zips it over the top, and it's dropped off the hands of Lance Babb II. If he caught that ball, he would have been home free for 6. But unfortunately, the redshirt freshman wide receiver was not able to snag that ball in, and it'll be 3rd and long. The coaching staff high on Lance Babb II. He had 1 catch last year, and that catch was a touchdown in the playoff game against Eastern Washington. But because of the redshirting rules, he was able to save that red shirt. Mayer stepping up, tosses it out. Carson Crawford catches it, and that's past the sticks. Carson Crawford, he only needed about 10, but he gets 15 on the play. It'll be all the way out to the 10-yard line as the Aggies work 1st and goal. Carson Crawford has been the #1 target for Jake Mayer so far this year, and it continues to be the case. Spring out to his right. Mayer tosses out to Wes Priest. Wes Priest catches at 10, cutting up the field out to the 5-yard line on top of the UC Davis numbers. It'll be brought down after a gain of 5. 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line.
Also in on the tackle, Sam McCloskey.
A man is down on the field for the Lehigh Mountain Hawks, but the way that the athletic staff is treating him, it looks like he's just cramping right over there. So we'll take a quick break for the injury timeout. 9:54 left in this third quarter play. The Aggies are up 21-0. And, yeah, they'll be back for a 2nd and goal on the other side of this break. You're tuned into UC Davis football here on KDVS 90.3 FM Davis. back here on the field after a quick timeout. They're able to help the cramping man off the field, and the Aggies will face a 2nd and 10 now. Or a 2nd and 4 rather, or 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. There we go. Snap is off. They hand it off to Teron Thomas. Teron Thomas working off the left side of the line. Let's see if he gets in. No, stopped about at the 1-yard line. And it'll be 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line after the Thomas run. Matthew Hyman checking into the game for Blake Thorpe, the freshman. Teron Thomas is the Thunder. We always talk about the Aggies having the Lightning and the Thunder, and Gilliam and Thomas. And Thomas will see if he can pound in this touchdown. Oh my goodness. So a botched handoff now as Jake Mayer had to take the ball himself. It looked like he was trying to hand the ball off to Teron Thomas, but he ended up having to keep it himself, diving forward to the half-yard line. Now the Ags will face a 4th and goal from the half-yard line. This has been a consistent theme for the Aggies here, as they have got into the red zone, but they haven't been able to get it until 4th down now as they hand the ball off once again. Teron Thomas diving into the end zone, 1-yard rushing touchdown, and the Ags go up 27-0, 8:42 left in this 3rd quarter of play. So, give it to Thomas 3 times in a row, or try to give it to him 3 times in a row, giving it to him 2 times in a row. And that results in a UC Davis touchdown. Max O'Rourke is onto the field after missing his last field goal attempt from 27 yards out. Now he'll look to cross the tee on the PAT. Snap is up. Carson Crawford spins the laces outwards, and Max O'Rourke knocks the ball all the way through the uprights, and the Ags go up 28-0. 8:42 left in this 3rd quarter of play. Wiz Khalifa playing in the background here at the UC Davis Health Stadium. And honestly, that's how the Ags are feeling right now. They're feeling like they are the boys right here, commanding every single aspect of the game. Offense, defense, special teams. They are just running this Lehigh team outside of UC Davis Health Stadium. But we still have a long game to go. It's a 4-possession lead while the Ags are up 48-0. We'll see if Tyler Monaco can make some halftime adjustments and see if he can make something happen here for his team. So with that, we'll take a quick timeout and await the next kickoff here at UC Davis Health Stadium. Ags are up 28-0. 8:42 left in this 3rd quarter of play. You're listening to UC Davis football here on KDVS 90.3 FM Davis. Special teams are back out on the field. The Ags are looking to kick it off after their 4th touchdown of this game. They're up 28-0. Benny Benazing popping through the stadium as the Ags fans are getting along. Stadium starting to rock here, waiting for the kickoff off the right leg of Matt Blair. Blair's kick is up. It's a low kick. It'll be touchdown right at the 3-yard line, and once again, it'll go out of bounds in the end zone, so the Lehigh offense will start at the 25-yard line. This is the 2nd kick that fell short of the goal, or of the end zone rather, for UC Davis. But fortunately for Matt Blair, both of the kicks bounced down at the 3-yard line, went in to the end zone for the touchback instead of going out of bounds, which of course would be a penalty. $8:42 left in this 3rd quarter. Monaco will come out once again. Rashawn Alexander gets the handoff this time. Stopped on the left side as they try to run a outside zone or an inside zone off the left side on the short side of the field, but he cut it back and he was able to pick up a nice 6-yard gain on the play. That was the best carry so far today for Rashawn Allen. No, Rashawn Allen, rather. Sorry about that. Substitutions for Lehigh as they bring another tight end onto the field. 2 tight end set out of the shotgun. 2 receivers to the near side of the field from the far hash mark. Monaco awaits the snap. Bending forward, gets a chest-high snap, tosses it, gets hit alongside, and it's cut along the near sideline by George Porter-Real. And Porter-Real was finally able to bring one in as he was knocked out of bounds at the 39-yard line. So despite the fact he had men all over his face, Tyler Monaco was able to get the ball off and convert for the first down. Working left to right, looking towards his far sideline, working from the near hash mark. Tyler Monaco will line up awaiting the snap. Bunch formation with 3 receivers off the left of the offensive line. Tight end off the right side of the offensive line is Alex Snyder. Monaco calls for it, gets the chest-high snap, tosses out a screen. It's a bubble screen, caught at the 45-yard line, diving forward, spinning through a tackle near midfield, knocked out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Enough for a first down. Devin Bibbins, the senior running back, was able to get a nice little bubble screen and move the chains once again. And it looks like the adjustment that Lehigh is beginning to make is deciding to do some quick screen passes and a quick passing game for Tyler Monaco because he does not have much time to throw the ball, and then just leaving it up to the athlete on the field to make a big play with their legs. Monaco lines up with the 2 receivers set on the bottom side of the field, tight end off the right side of the offensive line as well from the far hash mark. Calls for it, looking deep down the field this time. Pressure, stepping up, he'll run it himself, cutting up at the numbers, and he dives down face forward down at the 45-yard line, getting a nice pickup of 5 on the play. Now, it's the first time we've seen Tyler Monaco use his legs today, and he makes it a 2nd and 5 from the Aggie 45. Nate Hope checking into the game for Rashawn Allen. The tight end still in the game. Sophomore out of Cummings, Georgia, Alex Snyder. 3 receiver set on the bottom of the screen, or on the bottom of the field. In the motion, Bibbins from left to right. Bibbins will be the lone receiver on the far side of the field. Dropping back, staring down Bibbins, tosses it. It's caught right at the line of scrimmage and brought out of bounds. And Nate Hope, the backup wide receiver, rather, is the man in for the catch. Pardon me, Allen is the backup running back. No gain on the play, and it'll be a 3rd down. 3rd down and 5 from the UC Davis Aggies 45-yard line. And you're going to think they got to actually start going for it as they're down 28-0 with 5:45 left in the 3rd quarter. Trips out to the bottom side of the screen. Monaco from the far hash mark awaits the snap, chest-high snap, hands it off, and that's brought in by Nate Hope. Nate Hope looked like he was smothered down, but has some space along the far sideline now. He was able to cut it up the field. So he stopped right at the initial mesh point at the 45-yard line, but he was able to use his agility to get to the far sideline and pick up the first down, but a flag flew in at the very end of the play. And it's a holding on the offensive line of the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. So just when they think they get a little bit more of a breath of life, the holding call will set them back far behind the chains and it'll push them back near their side of the field. The ball will be set down at the 49-yard line of the Aggies as the Ags looks to the sideline, awaiting the call from their defensive coordinator, Robert Tucker. They come out with the man-to-man look. Monaco in the backfield in the shotgun alongside Rashawn Allen. Rolling out to his right this time as Monaco tries to toss the screen. It's caught by the wide receiver. Has some space, cutting up the field on the numbers, and it'll be brought down shy of the first down mark. George Porter-Real is the man on the reception. There was 2 men in the area as they motioned the running back, Rashawn Allen, out into the flats. They toss the ball out to Porter-Real, and the screen makes it a 4th and 3 from the 43-yard line. And just as I said before, Tyler Monaco will stay out on the field. The Ags make a defensive substitution as they bring in number 53, who's had a heck of a game, Nick Eaton. The pass rushing group is in for the Aggies as the Mountain Hawks work with a tight end off the left side of the offensive line. An up back off the right side of the offensive line from the far hash mark. Monaco will call for it. Tosses it. And there's nowhere to go in between three different wide receivers as they were all covered up. And that's a big stop from the Aggies, killing the momentum of the Mountain Hawks right away. And they'll get the ball in great field positioning once again from the 43-yard line. The Aggies' average starting field position is definitely plus 35 so far in this game. They've had some amazing spots brought forward for by their defense. The Aggies' offense has always been a shining force for this team, but the defense in this most recent year has shown that they have some real talent on their side. So the Aggies will come out from the far hash mark, working right to left. Gilliam's alongside the right hip of Mayer. Mayer calls for the snap, hands it off. Gilliam on the sweep, cutting it up, and there's nowhere to go. Great stop on the field. Alonzo Gilliam is brought down after a loss of about 3 on the play. O'Neal, number 9, the outside linebacker, was the man on the tackle. O'Neal actually started 37 games at safety for this Mountain Hawks team before having to move over to outside linebacker this year. Rolling out to his right, sprinting out, looking deep down the field, toss it, caught by Carson Crawford at the 40, working towards the near sideline, out to the 30-yard line. It'll be dropped down at the 31. Great block by Matthew Heyman off the right side of the offensive line. He absolutely decimated the defensive end, giving his quarterback plenty of time to throw, and Carson Crawford found the soft spot in the zone. Quick snap for the Aggies. The defensive line wasn't even set for the Mountain Hawks. Toss it out to Gilliam. Gilliam at the 26-yard line, diving forward at the initial reception, and gets about 5 on the reception.
Stop made by John Siegman.
Carson Crawford will be the wide receiver in the slot. Gilliam in the backfield alongside Mayer from the near hash mark, working right to left. That's Darius Livingston is the lone receiver on the bottom of the field. Handoff, it's an outside zone out to the 25-yard line, only getting about 1 on the carry by Gilliam. And the redshirt sophomore running back is brought down right there. Shotgun snap, knee-high snap, getting the ball, zips it, sidearm sling, and it's off the hands of Chris Vaughn. Chris Vaughn was very well defended by the outside linebacker Riley O'Neal as he dropped it into the zone. It'll be 4th down and 4 from the 24-yard line. And hey, it's the common trend that's been going on all game long. The Aggies are going to go for it for the 6th time so far this game on 4th down. Snap is off. Mayer, plenty of time to throw deep down the field, looking towards the end zone. Up high, and it's brought in. We'll see if they call it. Yes! Carson Crawford in for the touchdown. 25-yard reception, and Carson Crawford stacks another one. The 5'10 slot receiver went all the way up, mossing 2 defenders for the Mountain Hawks, and he puts the Aggies up 34-0. 2:43 left in this 3rd quarter of play. You would not think a slot receiver would be the man that you toss a jump ball up to, but so far throughout 3 games this year, Carson Crawford has been the man that the Aggies have tossed the jump ball up to. Snap is off, the kick is up, and the PAT is no good. Max Arorik uncharacteristically has missed a PAT. He's usually automatic. I don't think he missed a single PAT last year. So now he's missed a field goal, he's missed a PAT, and the Aggies are up 34-0. The line was set at -33, so if the Aggies can continue this trend, if you bet on the Aggies, you're going to take the win.
And once again, that touchdown was brought to you by Motherlode
So,
Storage.
after that, it was a 6-play drive, 57 yards, 1 minute 42 seconds, capped off by that 4th down touchdown conversion by Carson Crawford. 24 yards on the reception, mossing over 2 different defenders, and Carson Crawford has put his name on the board. The Aggies come out with Matt Blair to kick it off. We've seen this unit quite a bit today for the UC Davis Aggies. For Carson Crawford there, that was his second touchdown of the year at receiving. He has one passing touchdown as well. Matt Blair awaiting the kickoff here as the two deep men for Lehigh is Jalen Ford and George Porter-Real. It'll be fielded in by Jalen Floyd. Jalen Floyd tried to get a initial fair catch call, but he botched the original kickoff, and he will return it from his goal line out to the 17-yard line. So a 17-yard return by Jalen Floyd. And Monaco will come back out on defense or on offense for the Lehigh Mountain Hawks and see if he can do anything here. Monaco so far today 14 for 32 with 104 yards. The Aggies have absolutely decimated him as they've gone out and just, I mean, this defense has been superb today for the Aggies. So far today they have 7 sacks. Oh my goodness. 7 sacks on the day for this UC Davis team, whose strength actually lies in their backfield. So it's a quarterback keeper off the left side of the offensive line, cutting it back at the 24-yard line, out to the 25-yard line, and will be brought down at the 26-yard line. That's the backup quarterback, Addison Schwab. Schwab is more of a rusher than a passer. He's 2 for 2 so far this season, but he had 5 rushing attempts coming in today's game. The junior stands 6 feet tall, 185 out of Marietta, Georgia, and it looks like they have decided to pull the senior quarterback and put in the junior. So Schwab will come out leading the offense for Lehigh. 2 receivers off the near side of this field as he works from the far hash mark. Waiting the snap, gets the snap. They hand it off this time, having some space out to the 35-yard line, brought down at the 38-yard line. That was a great run up the gut by Rashawn Allen. Chris Venable for the Aggies is the man to make the tackle. And the Aggies are up 34-0 with 1:41 left in this third quarter. No timeouts have been taken by either team so far. 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. The new quarterback into the game, Addison Schwab, will lead the offense. From the far hash mark, working left to right, trips on the bottom of the field. And it'll be a pistol set. They motion the running back off the left hit of the quarterback, and they'll fake the handoff. Brought in right away. There's nowhere to go. Backup linebacker Devon Frazier, the redshirt freshman out of Sacramento, California, comes up for a huge tackle for loss. 6 yards lost on the handoff, or 7 yards lost rather, as the Aggies defense showing their depth so far. Devon Frazier actually came in as a defensive back, but converted to strong side linebacker. Smaller frame, 6'1", 185, but he showed a big hit there and showed some discipline playing off the edge. Tatting off the right side of the line. It'll be 2nd and 16 from the 30-yard line. Schwab calls for the snap, rolling out to his right, looking deep down the field, toss it out to the sideline, and it's caught and brought in right about at the original line of scrimmage. George Porter-Real was the man on the reception. It will be a 5-yard pickup on the play. It'll be 3rd and 10 from the 36-yard line. The Aggies showing a 3-man front so far as substitutions come in for the offense. The backup tight end checks out of the game, Ian Connor, and the wide receiver, Austin Dambach, comes into the game for the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. Aggies are showing a man look early in this play, and they stand the man. Dropping back is Schwab. Schwab rolling up, toss it off the leg, and it's almost intercepted off the hands of the defensive back. That was number 28, John Amati, the redshirt sophomore out of Roseville, California, with the pass deflection on the play. So Amati isn't able to get the INT, but he's able to get the pass breakup. It'll be 4th down and 10 from the 36. So another punting situation for the Mountain Hawks as they have to go into the fourth quarter facing that 4th down. So after 3 quarters of play, the Aggies are up 34-0 with 15 minutes left in this game. We'll be back on the other side of this break as we await the next punt from the Mountain Hawks. So you're listening to UC Davis football here on KDVS 90.3 FM Davis. Flipping the sides of the field now as Austin Hennings comes out to punt the ball once again. The senior, standing at 6'2", 180 from Fairview, Texas, will have his heels at the 21-yard line. The man deep for the Aggies once again, number 10, Jalen White. He'll line up at the 25-yard line in between the hash marks. A delay on the field still as we're waiting the officials to set things up. Long snapper Jack Dean has a hand on his back by the umpire, and now we're ready to go. Jack Dean snaps it off. That's a helmet high snap. It'll be a high swirling punt. Fielded at the 26-yard line. No fair catch called. Working out to the far sideline, out to the 30-yard line, and tackled down. Number 95 was the man on the tackle for the Mountain Hawks. That was the junior defensive lineman, the starting defensive end, Davis Maxey. So after the Maxey tackle and the 5-yard return by Jalen White, the Aggies will come out from the 30-yard line. 14:50 left as the punt sequence took 10 seconds off the fourth quarter clock. 34-0, the Aggies lead, working left to right after the flip of the field. And now Gilliam alongside Mayer will come out. Carson Crawford on the jet sweep action. They snap the ball, they hand it off to Gilliam. Gilliam off the right side of the offensive line, getting gain of about 3 before being tackled down. That's the that's the cornerback, Jalen Floyd, on the tackle for the Mountain Hawks. Quickly to the line, the Aggies. 2nd and 7 from the 33-yard line, motioning. Yolonzo Gilliam from right hip to left hip from the near hash mark. Mayer scans the field, sending Yolonzo Gilliam into the flat. Looking down the field, will end up just checking it down. Caught at the 27-yard line, making his way out to the far sideline. And he'll bring a defender with him as he bullies his way out to just 2 yards past the 35-yard line. So it'll be a tackle made at the 37-yard line by the outside linebacker, John Safeman. Snap is off. It's a low snap picked up off the ground. Tossed, caught by Wesley Priest out at the 50-yard line, 45-yard line, throwing his shoulder into a defender, brought down at the 44-yard line. A great reception from Wesley Priest right over there, as the linebacker Keith Wetzel was the man on the tackle. 13:48 left in this fourth quarter of play. The Aggies come out, double tight end set in the pistol. They fake the handoff, rolling out right, looking deep down the field, stepping up in the pocket, has to zip it, and it's almost intercepted, tipped up in the air. It's caught out of bounds. But a nice little breakup on the play on first down. It'll be a 2nd and 10 from the 44-yard line of the Mountain Hawks.
2nd down, 10 yards to go.
2nd and 10. The Aggies stay in that same formation. Bunch tied off the right side of the offensive line. Mayer hands the ball off in the pistol. They hand the ball out to the sweep action, out to the 45-40, cutting his way up the middle of the hash marks, diving all the way down to the 25-yard line. Alonzo Gilliam on the carry, gets enough for the first down. He only needed 10, but he ripped off a 20-yard gain out to the 25, and the Aggies hurry up to the line. Same formation, Pistol snap, handoff. Gilliam off the right side of the offensive line, breaking through the initial tackle, and he's brought down by a flurry of defenders for the Mountain Hawks after only a gain of 2.
Gilliam on the carry.
And it looks like the outside linebacker, or the safety rather, Sam McCoskey was the first man to make contact. Teron Thomas checking the game for the Aggies now as Mayer works from the near side hash marks. Doesn't like what he sees with the defense. Looks to the near sideline to get the audible call from his head coach. Lone receiver on the far side of the field is Chris Vaughn. As Mayer gets the snap, tossing it deep downfield, one-on-one coverage, and it's brought in! Let's see if he got it. Yes, he did! Chris Vaughn, amazing catch, diving towards the goal post. All right, diving towards the little orange post, rather, and he gets a 25-yard reception. The Ags are up 40-0 with 12:39 left, and this fourth quarter of play. Chris Vaughn was one-on-one all the way, and it was just a matter of an athlete making a play right over there. Chris Vaughn ran into the end zone. The ball was placed on the outside shoulder, and Jake Mayer was able to deliver the pass. So now the Ags will come out with Max O'Rourke. This kick is up, and this PAT is good. The Ags are up 41-0 with 12:39 left in the rest of this game, as the Ags take a commanding lead with 12:39 left. So we'll take a quick break, awaiting the next special team sequence. You've been listening to UC Davis football here on KDVS 90.3 FM Davis. The teams are back on the field as Matt Blair looks to show off the right leg once again. I blanked on the word pylon earlier on that Chris Vaughn touchdown. But yeah, he caught the ball at back shoulder towards the pylon, was able to get control of the ball, keep 2 feet in bounds, and was able to come up with another huge touchdown for this Aggies team as they kick things off, up 41-0, 12:39 left. The ball bounces down at the 3-yard line, and it takes a few leaping hops outside of the back of the end zone. So Lehigh will get the ball once again from the 25-yard line, as that seemed to be the magic spot for Max Blair. The ball bounces down at the 3 and then finds its way into the end zone for the touchback. So the Ags will come out on defense. The Mountain Hawks working right to left. Will come back out with Tyler Monaco at quarterback. So Addison Shoup might get some burn, but right now they're looking towards Monaco to see if they can do anything on offense. Gets the snap, hands it off up the gut, and that's a nice little pickup by Peter Lucas, the sophomore out of Rumson, New Jersey. So the ball will be brought out to the 29-yard line. And the stop was made by James Sharit, the inside linebacker out of San Francisco City College. Luka Nixon checks into this game at outside linebacker, so that's great to see. He was injured those last few weeks, so it's great to see the redshirt sophomore coming out and getting some snaps. Snap is off. They hand it off once again. That's out to Lucas. Lucas from the near sideline gets knocked out of bounds right there in front of Coach Dan Hawkins, the Aggies head coach. And that ball will be spotted at about the 37-yard line, so enough yards to pick up the first down. 11:48 counting down remaining in this game. Awaiting the snap now is Monaco. Monaco fakes the handoff, rolling out to his right, looking deep down the field, tosses it into double coverage, off the hands of his wide receiver, off the helmet of an Aggie defender. And the ball was actually tossed into triple coverage at the end of the day, and George Porter-Real was unable to pick it up. 2nd and 10 from the 37-yard line. Tyler Monaco leads this offense. 3 receivers out to the far side of the field from the near hash mark. Monaco awaiting the snap. Tied in off the left side of the line is Alex Schneider. Claps his hand, gets the snap. They hand it off once again. That's brought in by Peter Lucas. Peter Lucas gets the handoff and then sprints forward for a gain of about 5 on the play, and he'll make it 3rd down and manageable from the 42-yard line. 3rd and 5 officially on the floor, as Nazanesi was the man on the tackle for the Aggies. So 3rd down and 5 from the 42-yard line, 11 minutes left in the rest of this game. So from the Lehigh 42, Monaco will line up with his heels on the 38. Snap is off, scans the field, has time to throw, toss it over the middle, and it's caught down by number 12. That's Austin Dambeck. As the ball is actually incomplete at the end of the day. It was broken up by Aaron Duncan. Aaron Duncan came in late in a huge hit. It almost looked like it could be targeting from my angle, but no flags fly onto the field, and a punt unit will be sent onto the field. And once again, Austin Hennings will see what he can do. Jalen White, the man out there to return the punt. So for today, Austin Hennings has punted the ball 8 times for 301 yards, and he'll kick off his 9th punt of the game. The ball will bounce down at the 21-yard line. It'll take it'll take a Mountain Hawks bounce rolling all the way down into the 3-yard line. So a terrific punt by the right leg of Austin Hennings. And he will flip the field for his team. He'll set the Aggies to start off their offensive drive from the far hash mark in the shadow of their own end zone from the 3-yard line. Before we get to that, we'll take another break in the action as the Aggies are up 41-0 with 10:38 left in this 4th quarter of play. You're tuning to UC Davis football here on KDVS 90.3 FM Davis.
Jim Soker Field post-game. Just head down to the bottom of sections 120.
Back here at UC Davis Health Stadium as the UC Davis Aggies take the field from the 3-yard line. They're inside their own territory, really deep, out of the shadows of their own end zone, as nightfall has been here for a while actually here, as the moon has risen up about 40 degrees. It started out right at the edge of the UC Davis Aggies the student section, and now it's risen up high into the sky. So the Ags once again coming out on offense, and they'll wait the beginning of play here from the referees. The officials are looking at the scoreboard. I think they're trying to get something fixed up on the board. Maybe they have to get some all the carts played before they can start action on the field, but we're holding tight. So just about ready to start. The Ags will line up in the shotgun. And a new quarterback, that's Hunter Rodriguez, is in the game for the Ags now. He hands it off, and there's no gain on the play. The running back in for the Aggies was number 31, Troy Spencer.
Stopped by Wetzel. Gain about a yard on the play. 2nd and 9.
So the backups are coming in this game for the Aggies. Hunter Rodriguez will be the quarterback, and Troy Spencer so far is the running back. They hand it off to Spencer once again as he dives forward for a gain of 3 on the play.
Spencer on the carry. Stopped by Matt Sewell.
Spencer on the carry, and it'll be 3rd down. It's a little weird to hear Spencer on the carry without it being C.J. Spencer, the longtime quarterback and running back and slot receiver for the Aggies. One of the relics of the past here at UC Davis Health Stadium now, as the quarterback in the game, Rodriguez, steps back. Rodriguez tosses it far too high over the top, and it's an incomplete pass. The intended receiver on the play was the backup tight end, Garen O'Keefe, the redshirt freshman out of Colfax, California. So with that, it'll be a quick 4th down. And the Aggies will have to send out their punter, Daniel Whelan, once again. Whelan, the punter on the field, has had a tremendous day off his right leg. 3 punts, 163 yards, and 2 of those punts were 50-plus yards. Whelan awaiting the snap, kicks it. It's almost blocked, a high swirling punt. It'll be fielded down at about the 50-yard line. It's touched by a Lehigh defender, and the Aggies will take it. Will pick it up off the ground, and they'll be brought in at the 41-yard line. We'll see where they call on the play. So it did touch a Lehigh defender, or Lehigh return man first. But there is some deliberation between the officials on the field. We'll see what they call.
By receiving team, recovered by kicking team, 1st down.
So the ball was touched by the receiving team. It was picked up by the kicking team, and the Aggies get new life. The Whelan punt will turn into essentially a net of about 40 yards on the play, so the Aggies will come back on offense led by Hunter Rodriguez, and they'll continue to churn things forward. Rodriguez from the far hash mark, 2 receivers off to the near side of the field, and they have a tight end off the left side of the offensive line. Rodriguez is joined alongside the backfield by Troy Spencer once again.
Ball will be placed at the
And they'll officially say the ball would be placed at the 48-yard line because that was the initial position that the ball was touched by the man from the punt team for Lehigh. So the Aggies will line up from the shotgun snap. They hand the ball off, and that's only about a 1-yard gain on the play. Number 19 was the man on the carry. There's no number 19 on the roster for UC Davis. That is Nico Harris on the carry. Snap is off, and it's a rifling pass, a line drive pass caught on the numbers out to the 40-yard line, and Rodriguez passes it out to number 89, the wide receiver, Robert Simpkins. Rodriguez trips to the near side of the field, will face a 3rd and 1 from the 39-yard line of Lehigh. Awaiting the snap. Gets the snap, looking deep down the field, pump fakes, rolling it himself. He'll run it himself out to the far hash mark, out to the numbers, and brought down at the 30-yard line. Rodriguez is quite the athlete, the junior transfer out of American River College. He was a backup last year behind Jake Mayer. He played the last few snaps of the Stanford game where he ended up teeing up a touchdown in the last seconds of the game against Stanford. And now Rodriguez takes a 3-step drop out of the shotgun, looking deep, running towards on top of the numbers, out to the 25-yard line after making a cut at the out to the 20-yard line after making a cut out to the 25-yard line. A flag flies in. That'll likely be a holding call on the Aggies.
Offense, 65.
Number 65 called for the hold on the Aggies. So that's the backup offensive lineman, Jordan Ford, the redshirt freshman out of Fair Oaks, California. So with 8:12 left in this game, we'll get all the backups in this game. So we'll see some future depth for this Aggies team, as essentially this is the next generation on the field for them. Rodriguez comes out once again. Troy Spencer joining him alongside in the backfield, trips out to the far side of the field. They hand it off. No room to go as Troy Spencer is brought down behind the line of scrimmage. And number 3 is the man on the tackle. It's the senior linebacker, Chris Wurtzel. Or, pardon me, that's Chris Wetzel. Snap is off. Rodriguez looking to pass it, rolling out to his right, out to the 50-yard line. He might run it himself, angling out of bounds. Nope, he just floats it out of bounds and throws the ball away right at the original line of scrimmage. It'll be third down now. Third down and 23 from the 43-yard line. Thank you to our friend David DK Kim. He just brought me over a pizza, so I got a little bit of food after the game. I'm happy to hear about that. We still got a game on the field. 7:22. Rodriguez comes out in the empty set from the far hash mark, facing a 3rd and 23. Toss it. It's caught in right at the 35-yard line, making a move out to the far sideline. Oh, hit hard down at the 32-yard line. That's caught by Orlando Ornelas, the wide receiver, the freshman out of Temecula, California. Nazanesi also wears that number 8, so it's a little strange to see a number 8 on offense. But the clock continues to turn. 6:50 left in this fourth quarter of play from the 41-yard line. Hunter Rodriguez motions a running back into the jet sweep action, has plenty of time to throw, finds a man deep downfield, diving in between 2 different Aggie receivers. There was a little bit of a miscommunication. It was Orales alongside number 19 that was... Once again, there's no number 19 on the roster for the Aggies, so I have to catch up with you on that. But a timeout is called on the field, and with a 41-0 lead, the Aggies will take a quick break in the action with 6:39 left in this fourth quarter of play. So we'll take a quick break with them. Aggies are up. You're listening to UC Davis football here on KDVS 90.3 FM Davis. Back onto the field goes the offense led by Monaco. Monaco, 5-step drop back, looking deep down the field, has a man wide open. It's brought in out to the 30, 20, 10, touchdown Lehigh. Austin Damback, the man to make the catch, and that breaks the shutout from the UC Davis Aggies. Huge reception off the right arm, and that's why they left Monaco into the game to flip the field with that big catch. Damback, the sophomore wide receiver, just absolutely tormented his defensive back as he ran past him. There was no defender for the Aggies within 10 yards. And that was an easy score as Tyler Monaco gets his second touchdown of the season. Awaiting the PAT kick now. Austin Hennings for the first time attempting a kick. Kick is up And he shows off that leg to cross the tee on the PAT. So, 41-7, the UC Davis Aggies lead the Lehigh Mountain Hawks with 6:29 left in this fourth quarter of play. A huge pass, one play, 67-yard touchdown off the right arm of Monaco to the arms and the legs of Devin Bibbins. So with that, we'll take a quick break as well on the field as the UC Davis Aggies still lead 41-7. Quick break on the field as the officials are trying to get this game over with. 9:50 p.m. here at Aggie Stadium as the kick is fielded and fair caught at about the 5-yard line. The return man for the Ags, Jordan Perriman. This is
Number 23, Jordan Perryman.
going to be a touchback officially on the field. So the new rule as of last year in college football, if you're inside the 10-yard line, you can call for a fair catch. Player safety and all is one of the priorities here. So the second team unit for the Ags will come out to the field between the hash marks. Hunter Rodriguez will see if he can answer back the big right arm of Monaco on that pass. Running back in the backfield alongside Rodriguez, gets the handoff up the middle of the field, has a little bit of a seam out to the 31-yard line, and that was Troy Spencer on the carry. He came into this game with 4 attempts and 7 yards, but so far, Troy Spencer has gotten essentially doubled his career snaps here as he picks up a nice little gain of 6 on the play. They hand it off to Spencer once again, showing some patience, running forward after initial stop on the play. And then he gets out to the 38-yard line. A nice little patient run, very Le'Veon Bell-esque, out to the 38-yard line. Rodriguez works between the hash marks, and they'll fake a handoff this time. Play action looking deep down the field. It's brought in at the 45-yard line. Pardon me, it's at the 46-yard line. And number 80 was the man on the reception. That was Lance Babb II. He was escorted out of bounds after the catch by Jalen Floyd on the tackle. So with that, the Ags get onto the Lehigh side of the field once again. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line of Lehigh. The handoff to Spencer. Spencer running the inside zone, has a man around his ankles and continues to drag defenders out to the 39-yard line. It'll be a nice pickup of about 7 on the play as flags fly in at the end of the play. And it will likely be an unsportsmanlike contact penalty on the Ags. Number 44, the man for the Ags was called for it. That was Christian Skipteris, the tight end / fullback. And Skipteris, unfortunately, this is not a great aura to have around you, but he's known for having those little bit of a boneheaded plays. He's a big-hearted player, so he continues to play sometimes after the whistle. So you love the intensity, but on plays like that, you hate to see it. Rodriguez, bunch formation off the right of his offensive line as he hands off to Spencer. Spencer gallops over initial defenders, and he gets out to the original line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd and 10 from the 47-yard line. A great block off the right side of the line by Lance Babb III. He absolutely pancaked his defender, so it's great to see young freshman wide receivers loving to block. And we'll get a look at Rodriguez out of an empty set here. 3 receivers to the far side of the field between the hash marks. Pressure brought off the edge. Has some time to throw. Runs it himself, and it'll be brought down. A loss for 2 on the play as number 81 is the man on the tackle. Or pardon me, that's number 91, the freshman defensive lineman, Jackson Michaels on the tackle. Or on the sack, rather. So loss of a yard, and the Ags will decide what they want to do here. They're at the 49-yard line of the Lehigh Mountain Hawks, and it's 4th and 12 with 4:15 left in this fourth quarter of play. Trips out to the far side of the field. They'll motion the running back out there as well. Checking down the field, pressure up in the face, avoids one tackler, running towards the wrong side of the field, continues to move outside the pocket. He needs to throw this ball away. It's tossed up and it's off the hands of the receiver. Orlando Ornelas was the man intended on the play, but on fourth down, the Aggies cannot convert off the hands of the freshman wide receiver, and Hunter Rodriguez hates to see that. That would have been a huge pickup, and it would have put the Aggies up in a position to close out the game with 3:58 left. But unfortunately for him, the backup defensive group will come out to the field now. So after that, it's a mixture of starters or rotational players on defense for the Aggies, as Isaiah Thomas is the lone man at the safety as they're playing single high on the set. Trips out to the far side of the field. Monaco out of the shotgun will call for the snap once again. Rashawn Allen in the backfield. Pardon me, that's Nate Hope. They hand the ball off to Hope. And that's a carry of about 1 yard on the play. So Addison Shope keeps the ball himself, as it was actually him in the backfield instead of Monaco. And we'll get a timeout on the field. A lot of rotational players coming in on both sides of the ball for the Mountain Hawks and the Aggies here in garbage time with 3:45 left. And you hate to see anybody down on the field, but this one will cause us to take a little bit of a break. Injury timeout on the field. The Aggies are up 41-7 with 3:45 left in this fourth quarter of play. And we hope whoever's on the field right over here gets up soon. You're tuned into UC Davis football here on KDVS 90.3 FM Davis. Number 41 was the man down on the field for the Aggies. That was Cole Hansen, the backup junior linebacker out of Yorba Linda, California. Went to Fullerton College before he transferred over here. Lining up, fakes the handoff, zips it out into the flats, has some space along the 45-yard line, stiff arming a defender as he makes his way out to the 43-yard line. And that was number 12 on the catch, the senior wide receiver, Devin Bibbins. And of course, the man on the tackle here taking snaps. And what may be the final offensive possession of the game for Lehigh, Addison Shoop. 3:15 counting down. 41-7 as the Aggies lead, working right to left. Lehigh comes out on offense. Trips out to the far side of the field. Snap is off. They hand it off. Cutting off the right side of the offensive line on the outside zone, working his way through 3 defenders before being brought down at the 39-yard line of the Aggies. And try to get a number on the man to carry the ball. That's the freshman running back, Zathan Hill, on the carry.
Zathan Hill carrying the ball. Stopped by Calvin Mooset. Also Evan Perkins in on the stop.
So with that, the carry will make it a 1st down and 10 from the 39-yard line of the Aggies. Shoop in at quarterback. Off the right hip is Rashawn Allen. Trips to the near side of the field. They hand this ball off. Nope, it's a quarterback keeper. Read option on the play, as he maybe should have handed the ball off after being tackled for a loss of 2 on the play. 2nd and 12 from the 41-yard line. So 2:11 left. The clock continues to churn down. There's no 2-minute warning in college football. So as the clock hits 2 minutes right over here, we'll continue play. Shotgun formation. Zane Hill off the left hip of Shoop. Shoop claps once, gets the snap. It's a slow head high snap. It's tossed out to George Porterreal, as it was intended to be a wide receiver screen, but it turned into a loss of 2 on the play, so it'll make it 3rd and 13. Porterreal has quite the athleticism, and he was actually the leading wide receiver in terms of yards per game in the Patriot League last year. He had 72.2 yards per game. And so far, he's definitely showed he's an explosive player who can do a lot if you place the ball in the right position for him. 7 catches for 68 yards so far today. Shoot from the near hash mark, works with 3 receivers off to the far side of the field with a running back in the backfield. Hands the ball off, has some space, out to the 35-yard line, 30, 25-yard line, running over a defender, being brought down at the 22-yard line. That's another great carry by the freshman, Zathan Hill. Isaiah Thomas, this backup safety, was the man on the tackle there. So as the clock continues to turn down, we're in the final minute of this game. Shoop calls for it, rolling out to his right, looking deep down the field, tosses it out to a wide open man. Out at the 15-yard line, diving forward, trying to make a play to get as many yards as possible. He's brought down at the 14-yard line, and a timeout will be called on the field. So the Mountain Hawks will call a timeout to see if they can continue this drive and see if their second-team unit can get into the end zone with 42 seconds left. So the game is essentially set for the Ags victory. 44 seconds, you're up 41-7. But this could actually be a segment of bad beats with Scott Van Pelt on SportsCenter after tonight. The line was set at 33. It's at 34 right over here in garbage time with 44 seconds left. So we'll see if the Aggies can make it to SportsCenter on some bad beats here at the end of the day. Hopefully not. Hopefully the Aggies are able to come out here, play some stout defense, and stop the Lehigh offense cold in their tracks before they're able to get into the end zone. It's been a great night so far for the UC Davis Aggies. They absolutely dominated the game. 14 points in the first quarter, 7 in the second, 13 in the third, and then 7 scored in the final quarter of play. And they'll see if their rotational / backup defensive players can make a stop here. Coming out now, Addison Shoop to continue the drive. 44 seconds left in the game. He'll call for the snap from the far hash mark. Gets the snap. They hand it off to Zathan Hill, as Zathan Hill carries a pile of defenders forward but can only get half a yard on the carry. Sione Aliki, the backup defensive lineman, on the tackle, and another timeout is called by Lehigh. So officially there's 39 seconds left in this game as they run the ball trying to get the first down, but they are unable to. So like I was saying before, the Ags had an amazing night. They totaled 510 total yards on the day, 419 yards through the air. But the one thing that they weren't able to establish against this Lehigh defense was the running game. Gilliam was the leading rusher for the team. He had 15 attempts for 56 yards in garbage time. McFadden was able to get some carries, 4 attempts for 28 yards. But yeah, if anything, this UC Davis team that showed to be such a great running team last week, I mean, Alonzo Gilliam alone had 135 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Toreros last week. But now this time around, they've been trying to key in on the running game, and they've done so in the process, holding the Aggies to 91 yards. But now as we return to the field, it'll be a 3rd down and 2 from the 39-yard line. Shoop comes out in the pistol set from the far hash mark. Calls for the snap, gets a helmet-high snap. They hand it off once again out to past the line to make, and he gets out to the 10-yard line. That was the starting running back, Rashawn Allen, on the carry.
Hill on the carry. First down.
Or pardon me, that was Zathan Hill once again. Zathan Hill coming in, and he'll make it a 1st and goal. Fake the handoff, rolling out to his left to shoot, flipping the hips, pressure from behind, toss it out. Porter Real gets the pass, and he's brought down at the 2-yard line. 19 seconds left. We'll see if Lehigh takes another timeout, and the head coach for the Lehigh Mountain Hawks does take that timeout, as Tom Gilmore is really trying to get in the end zone. Put themselves on bad beats. So that's the final timeout of the game for Lehigh, as the score is 41-7 with 19 seconds left. And we'll see what they're able to do here as it's 2nd and goal. The stands have started to clear out in terms of the student section in the far bleachers as this game has been said, and the Aggie fans stuck around for quite a while, so great fan base here at UC Davis. A lot of fans awaiting the front row, essentially. There's a great tradition here at Jim Sochler Field that after the game, a lot of the family, a lot of the friends come down to the field, hang out with the athletes, and congratulate them on the game that they just played. So 19 seconds left. We'll see what goes down in the final seconds of this game. 41-7, the Ags lead, but Shoop will come out and see if he can lead his team to a touchdown. 2nd and goal. The Ags stack up with 4 defensive linemen, and men line up in the gaps. The Ags triggering a blitz here. They hand the ball off to Zathan Hill. Zathan Hill churns the feet, but there's nowhere to go. Driven back after only a gain of about half a yard on his forward motion or forward carry. So another handoff. They fake the handoff out to Zathan Hill. No, it's a missed pass. Diving into the end zone, reaching in. That's a touchdown. With the clock hitting 0, that's a touchdown on the field. And Shoop connects with his wide receiver, Austin Dambach, as Dambach puts 2 touchdowns up on the day. And the Ags will end up winning the game on a sour note, up 41-13. Are they going to let him kick the PAT? And yeah, Austin Henning will end up finishing the game with a PAT attempt, and that's got to be a bad beat.
On the touchdown.
That is, yeah, so they end up saying that's the ball game because the PAT does not affect the end score. The Ags win 41-13. The line was set at 33, and the Ags win by 28. Scott Van Pelt, we'll see you tonight. We'll take a quick break before coming back for some post-game stats here at UC Davis Health Stadium. You tune in to UC Davis football here on KDVS 90.3 FM Davis. final score at UC Davis Health Stadium. The Aggies 41, the Lehigh Mountain Hawks 13. So, what an amazing night for the Aggies. They total up 510 total yards of offense, 419 of these yards off the arm of their quarterbacks. So we'll dive down to some individual stats here for the Aggies, as Mayer ended up the day at 38 for 49, 389 yards, 4 touchdowns with a 171.2 passer rating. Quite the night for Jake Mayer as he absolutely decimated the defense of Lehigh. The running game couldn't quite get going for the UC Davis Aggies, as Alonzo Rilliam ended up as the final rusher, as the leading rusher rather, 15 attempts for 56 yards and a touchdown. The Aggies only total up 91 yards of total rushing, and McFadden ended up getting a good chunk of yardage, 28 yards on 4 carries in garbage time. But Lehigh, if they did anything well today, they stopped the running game for the Aggies, so that's a positive note for them. In terms of receiving, Carson Crawford had a monster night, 9 catches, 148 yards, and that touchdown in the back of the end zone. Absolutely, you got mossed. We might be seeing that on the Sunday morning kickoff on ESPN tomorrow. So Chris Vaughn was the second leading receiver, 8 catches for 48 yards. Gilliam caught the ball quite a bit out of the backfield as well, 7 catches for 21 yards. Wes Breeze coming off his huge game against USD, 5 catches, 31 yards, and a touchdown. And then great to see right over there, Blake Thorpe coming into the game. He only had 2 catches for 5 yards, but he is definitely a potential amazing player for the Aggies coming in, and he's expected to replace Wes Breeze after this year has come to a conclusion. In terms of defensive stats, let's pull those up right over here. The Aggies ended up with 7 sacks on the night. They had so much pressure coming from their defense. And the leading tackler for the Aggies, Perryman right over there, he had 5 tackles himself, but the person that really stood out, and this is going to stand on all the tapes coming into next week against coming in next week at North Dakota State, so a huge matchup. If you can get this production out of Nick Eden, he had 4 total tackles for 2.5 sacks and 2.5 tackles for loss. He was an absolute savage tonight. 2 breakups as well, a quarterback hurry, and a forced fumble. He was the man of all men on the field. He was just spectacular. Another great showing as well for Devin King. Devin King, the star defensive back for the Aggies. 4 tackles, 1 tackle for loss as well. So let's dive into the side of Lehigh here. So Tyler Monaco, aside from that garbage time little bomb to his wide receiver, Devin Bibbins, he really struggled tonight. He ends the day out 15 for 35, 171 yards with 1 touchdown. But fortunately for him, he did not throw an interception. So he ends the evening out throwing 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions so far in this 2019 season. The backup quarterback came up in garbage time, 6 for 7, 31 yards, and a touchdown by Addison Shoup. In terms of rushing, the starting running back was Rashawn Allen, but he didn't have much room to go. He ran the ball 7 times for 18 yards with a long of 10 yards, but Zathan Hill was really a bright spot for this Lehigh team. Zathan Hill came in early in the first half and ripping a huge run for a first down, and then showed off some continual speed and skill in the 4th quarter of play. So Zathan Hill, a man to look out for in the future for this Lehigh Mountain Hawks team. In terms of receiving, the number 1 receiver ended up being Devin Bibbins. Bibbins was targeted 17 times, was only able to bring in 7 of those for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. But he was the one that ripped off that 67-yard touchdown reception. So he's definitely a great athlete on the field. And then the other star receiver for Lehigh, George Porter-Real. He had 9 catches for 75 yards with a long of 2. So with that, we'll call it an evening. It's been an amazing time here on YouTube for the first time on KDVS. Final score 41-13. We got a great matchup next week as the Aggies go all the way out to the Fargo Dome at North Dakota State for a 12:30 p.m. matchup. Oh my goodness, I am so excited for that game. The number 4 team in the nation taking on the number 1 team in the nation. This is the stuff that legends are made out of. If the Aggies can go out and get a win from North Dakota State, who I can't remember the last time they lost in the regular season. It'll be a huge deal. What could have potentially been the national championship game next year, or last year, you might get next week, or you will get next week, rather, as the Aggies go to 3-1 on the year. Looking forward to that huge matchup against North Dakota State. So with that, this has been a KDVS production. My name's Max Arrest, and I've had the pleasure of calling this game for you guys tonight. Thank you for being so amazing here on our YouTube stream, and we'll look forward to potentially having some more of these on the way. Back in 2 weeks with on September 28th against Montana. That's a 1 p.m. kickoff, so we'll catch us there. Make sure you tune into Aggie Talk Tuesday nights on 90.7 KDVS, or 90.3 KDVS Davis, as the students are coming back, and we'll be taking over our 2-hour time slots from 7 to 9 p.m., breaking down UC Davis sports in some general banter of sports worldwide. So this has been a KDVS production. Happy to be here. And as always, Max Gress signing off. Go Aggs.